Chapter 121 Longtang returns. Well, is there someone on the road? And it's still successful. Seeing the reappearance of Qinghong Road, Yi Yuan could not help but look at it. The wind in the face of the face also showed a shocking color. She did not expect that Longtang really passed the 9-day road. It's Longtang. I didn't expect it. He really succeeded. Yi Yuan snorted and said, "Isn't it said that Zhu Tian Road is Jedi? It seems that it is just like this." Anyway, Yi Yuan did not feel too much difficulty, but since others have succeeded, the rumors of the 9-day road are somewhat untrue. If the wind is clear, it is shaking your head, you are wrong. The 9-day road is really the most extreme. Even if I am going through the realm of my present situation, it is very difficult to retreat. The dragon can smash the past and only explain his potential. Very big. Yi Yuan thought of the terrible sword of the last sword, and immediately recognized the truth of the wind. He can take the sword and it doesn't mean that others can take the sword. If the array is fully open, if the wind goes in, it will be dead. Well, the boundless trial is about to begin, let's go first. The students at the prefecture level and the heaven level have begun to gather in the central square. The square is black and pressed, and there are not thousands of people. Zan and Huang class students do not need to participate in infinite trials because of their poor strength. They went, and they only played the role of cannon fodder. The trainees engaged in this infinite trial, in order to train the students, but not to let them die. A group of students obviously saw the wonders of Qinghong Road, and they were so shocked that they could not speak. Legend has it that the general 9-day road has been repeatedly smashed. In shock, I let a lot of self-proclaimed geniuses float. The left is not looking at the small figure on the 9-day road, shocked and inexplicable. He actually really passed away. Is it true that he and I are not a person of the world? Zuo did not whisper to himself. The left did not return to take a deep breath, could not help but find the figure of Yi Yuan in the crowd. It was that person who changed Longtang and made him change. Yi Yuan, what magic is there? Why can't I feel it? When he looked for it, he really saw Yi Yuan. Yi Yuanzheng and Feng Ruoqing came to this side with a smile and laughter. Left does not care about this, but no matter how he feels, he can't feel the so-called magic power in Yi Yuan. Dragon brothers really are the capital of the sky. He really passed the 9-day road. He is the first in the well-deserved college. This is a loyalty of Longtang. You haven't been teasing. Long brothers and sisters have been on the road for 9 days. It has only been used for a long time in Yi Yuanzheng's 9-day road. The two have no comparability at all. And Yi Yuan can live through the 9 days. Road, unlimited potential. What about that? On the strength, Yi Yuan is far away, Long brother can beat him with one hand. And as long as he has passed the 9-day road, it is the identity of the core of the Shangzong. Don't bicker with your brain powder. Dragon Master is only temporary. Yi Yuan will not be able to surpass him for a long time. As the first and second generation of the new and the old, Yi Yuan and Longtang have both passed through Zhu Tian Road and each has a large number of loyal fans. On the high platform of the square, Zhang Songtao saw that Longtang had passed through Zhu Tian Road and was overjoyed. Haha, it's really fast. My Qin Guodanwu College has 2 geniuses who have passed through the 9-day road. It's really elated. After seeing the grandchildren, they dare to show off in front of me. Hu Changsheng also caressed the beard and smiled. I really can't think of it. God bless me Qin Guodanwu College, there are 2 peerless geniuses. Su Yubai had already seen Yi Yuan, watching a sneer in his mouth. Isn't that just passing through the 9 days? What are you talking about? Even dare to take the identity of the core disciples to pressure lousy. Now Longtang has also passed the 9-day road to see what you are still proud of. Su Yubai has made up his mind and will win the Longtang at all costs. Such a person will certainly become a generation of strong people in the future, and he will cover the Su family, and the Su family will be as stable as the mountains in the next few hundred years. Yi Yuan, after this infinite trial, will become a quietly fallen comet and become a past tense. Longtang is here. The clothes on his body have become rags, and the air machine is also somewhat disordered. It seems a little embarrassing, and it forms a stark contrast with the calmness of Yi Yuan's 9-day road. It can be seen from his state that Judian road is not so fun. Longtang must have experienced a terrible attack on the 9-day road. However, although the atmosphere of Longtang is disordered, the whole person is sharp, and he is very different from him. This is quite similar to Yi Yuan. Ha ha ha, a good dragon hall, it is amazing. It really is the first in the list. In my opinion, your potential is stronger than Mo Yuntian and Yi Yuan. Su Yubai laughed and greeted him. Su Yubai's words caused a lot of people's resentment, and they all saw his intention to win, but no one dared to say anything. Longtang is not a 9-day road, and it is very different. After smashing the 9-day road, the future achievements of Longtang will definitely be turned upside down. However, it is not the 9-day road. At best, he is the strong man of Qin State. Naturally, it is not worthy of Su Yubai to win. For the meaning of Su Yubai's solicitation, Longtang did not have much reaction. He just gave a slap in the face and said, "Thank you for the praise of the elder Su." Longtang does not dare to be. When it is deserved, what do you dare to do? Your Longtang has always been the absolute first in the college. Now you have passed the 9-day road. Who dares to say that you can't? Su Yubai laughed. In exchange for others, the punishment of the elders of the sect, and how to say it, the Longtang is still shaking his head. Moshi brother is a predecessor, has left the Danwu College. I am not good to compare with. As for Yi Yuan, I am greatly inferior. If I have not passed the 9-day road, I may still be able to numb myself, but now I have experienced it for a while, I know how genius Yi Yuan is. This first name, Longtang does not dare to be. As Longtang's words came out, Su Yubai's face was getting darker. Longtang's words are undoubtedly slap in the face of thousands of people. What makes him feel good about the imperial elders? Longtang, regardless of Su Yubai's face, bypassed Su Yubai and came to Zhang Songtao. He was the highest person to host this infinite trial. Zhang Din, Longtang has two things here. The first one is to ask you not to participate in this trial. Longtang has just passed through Zhoujin Road, quite a bit of experience, wants to retreat for a while. Still look at Zhang Yuan. Growing up, the current state of Longtang is obviously not suitable for infinite trials. Zhang Songtao will naturally not be so inhuman. He nodded and said, "Well, you have to reconcile your experience and you will not participate in the trial. The second thing is what? The second thing is to express gratitude to a person. Without him, I can't wait for 9 days. Oh, actually, there are such things. Who has such a big skill, can you help you through the 9-day road?" Zhang Songtao surprised. Longtang's words evoke the curiosity of everyone, but no one knows the answer, except for the left. Chapter 122 Destined Battle. Longtang turned and scanned the audience. Everyone looked around and wanted to find the one that Longtang said. Who is it? It can help Long brothers to pass the 9-day road. Before the 9-day road, they all have to make a pledge of heaven. Who will reveal the information of Judian road? Who knows, it is estimated that the dragon brother and witch sister is better. The power of love is great. Is this belief supporting him to go through 9 days? Don't say, it's really possible. I just don't know which sister has this honor. In my opinion, the entire college can be worthy of the dragon brother, and only the wind sister will not be her. I don't believe in killing me. The wind teacher has been soaked by Yi Yuan, and the wind sister has become a pair with the dragon brother, and how can people live? The imaginative crowds whispered and quickly smacked their words into the wind. The warriors' ears are very good, and some words are inevitably passed into their ears, making the wind clear and red. I don't know when she started, she has already been bubbled by Yi Yuan, and she doesn't even know it. In front of the public, the wind is always like a frosty look. After listening to the opinions of the people, an invisible murderous air spread. There are just too many people talking, she can't kill all of them. Longtang quickly found Yi Yuan in the crowd. He paid attention to Yi Yuan for a long time and was naturally familiar with his breath. Yi Yuan, thank you. Without your guidance, I can't go through 9 days. Longtang said sincerely. The words of Longtang immediately caused a commotion. What? It turned out to be Yi Yuan. How is it possible? It seems that they don't know each other at all. Yes, and Yi Yuankai is very energetic. Can he teach the dragon brother something? It will not reveal the secret of the 9-day road. But Yi Yuan is still alive now. It's not always that Long's brother has read Yi Yuan's 9-day road. Have you passed it? It's too evil. Everyone feels puzzled about Longtang's words. Even if Longtang's talent is not as good as Yi Yuan, but Yi Yuan's strength is still weak, what can he help Longtang? And everyone familiar with Longtang knows that there is no intersection between him and Yi Yuan. When did Yi Yuan help him? When Su Yubai heard the words of Longtang, his face was black and black. This Longtang is simply not aware of the lift, even in the face of so many people lifted Yi Yuan. Even if he does not accept the olive branch he has thrown, don't he know that Yi Yuan and Sus family are deadly enemies? Are you rushing to the Su family one by one? The tiger is not angry, really, when I Su Yubai is a sick cat. You are a genius, but the genius who can't grow up is just the dust of history. Who will remember you? Yi Yuan just guessed who gave the Longtang a bit of fun. Who knows that Longtang opened his mouth and even ordered his name, but it made him somewhat unprepared. Hey, dragon brother, are you mistaken? When did I guide you? Are we meeting for the first time? Yi Yuan is somewhat inexplicable. Longtang suddenly smiled and smiled very happy. Anyone who is familiar with Longtang knows that he rarely laughs. Today is the first time. Yi Yuan, you are wrong. Today is indeed the first time you have seen me, but I have seen you many times. I am observing you in almost every battle in the college. Until you are brave Chuang Ju Tian Lu, finally let me realize, found my own way. So, although you do not know that I thought you changed, but I still want to thank you. Longtang said loudly. Oh, it turned out to be like this. Haha, congratulations to you. Thank you. I don't have to, if you can help me kill the old guy behind you. Yi Yuan pointed to Su Yubai behind Longtang, said with a smile. Yi Yuan said that Su Yubai's face was even darker. He did not expect that Yi Yuan would dare to face the scenes of so many people and asked Longtang to kill him. I really have this reason. Boy, you will be proud. I have laid a net for you in the infinite forest, and you can go with peace of mind. Longtang did not look back. He knew who Yi Yuan was referring to. Oh, I am not an opponent of the elder Su. I am afraid that you can't help you with this wish. However, for a year, I am afraid it is a little embarrassing. But you are enough, revenge, or come to be refreshed in person. The first half of Longtang sounds like a compliment, while the latter half does not put Su Yubai in the eye. And the meaning of the words actually has acknowledged the fact that Yi Yuan is more genius than him. Dragon Hall, do you know what the consequences of insulting the elders of the college? Su Yubai said with great anger. Longtang carrying Su Yubai, he did not intend to take care of him. For Su Yubai's personality, he is also very timid, so he will say such a thing. Hey, Su Chang's old age is really a little forgetful. Long brothers have passed the 9-day road, and their identity has been equal to the core disciple of Yu Yunzong. The status of Yu Yunzong is already higher than you, insulting you. What happened? Yi Yuan is a martyr. Good, good, you all want to rebel. Are you waiting for me? Don't think that you have survived the 9-day road, you can sit back and relax. Su Yubai's anger has been able to burn the sky. Elder Su, you are still a province. We are going to participate in the infinite trial, you still don't delay everyone's time. Yi Yuan ignored the threat of Su Yubai. Zhang Songtao, who presided over the infinite trial, couldn't stand it anymore. He said, well, Yi Yuan, Longtang, you should not be fooled. Although you already have the identity of the core disciple of the Shangzong, people are still in Qingguodan. Isn't Wu Academy? I know that you have some holidays, and this matter will be taken temporarily. It is imperative to carry out infinite trials. Both of you have given me a face, no more noisy. Zhang Songtao's words are obviously biased in Su Yubai, but Yi Yuan does not matter. Anyway, Su Yubai's face has been swept away by him, and he does not suffer. However, Longtang seems to have not finished talking to Yi Yuandao. Yi Yuan, although this request is somewhat abrupt, I still hope that I can fight with you before going to the Yunzong. I wonder what you mean. Quote, Although Yi Yuan was the first to contact Longtang, he still had a good impression on him. Longtang is obviously a man of open mind and firm mind, and is a good opponent. Moreover, Longtang is the first in Wubang, and Yi Yuan is going to kill the gods. Longtang is the first hurdle in the true sense. He must go beyond the past. This battle was doomed a long time ago. Good. Even if the dragon brother does not come to me, I will go to find you. This battle, I must come. Yi Yuan is very proud. Chapter 123 Pharmacy Billion. Sister Feng Jian, join me in a team. My 7-star sword has been cultivated to become a big one, and will not give you a hind legs. Sister Feng, are we going to be together? If you encounter a high-level monster, I will give up your life. Wind sister, together. All the treasures we got from the team are yours, I only need what the mission needs. After the unhappy swearing in meeting, the big troops came out of Danwu College. Along the way, there are quite a few young and powerful Junji who were in the forefront of the wind and hope to team up with her. The charm of the popular is really not covered. The effort of this meeting, the number of male students who requested her team has no less than 10, and the strength is above the spirit. I have to say that the windy and frosty look can greatly arouse men's desire to conquer. The colder she is to these male students, the more the male students get together. Even if the wind refused the male students, they all stayed close to her. Yi Yuan has been following in the near future, but then he laughed and said, Sister Feng, do you want me? You see that my strength is low, and the team can show you the best. Everyone was thrown away from Yi Yuan with a contemptuous look. Are you low in strength? The combat power can be ranked in the top 50 of the list. Can the nonsense be brought to this point? Moreover, do women not all want to be protected by men? If you are so low in 4, you will definitely be despised by the Wind Sister. Speaking of it, this is not the first time Yi Yuan has hidden behind a woman. The last time Su Yubai sneaked, Yi Yuan is not hiding behind the Wind Teacher. This kind of daring is a typical bully and fear. How can such a man, the Wind Sister, see it? Moreover, who does not know in the college that Yi Yuan has already caught up with the Wind Teacher? Now he is coming to provoke the wind again. Do you want to get rid of the two? Also Pharmacy Billion, even if the Wind Sister cannot find a man, can't he serve with his aunt? At this moment, the wind suddenly stopped, turned to stare at Yi Yuan coldly. A chill of coldness spread out. Just when everyone thought that the wind was about to start, she spit out 4 words, open the road ahead. The crowd crashed to the ground. What happened in the end? This world is crazy. Feng Shiji actually agreed. Can it be said that the Wind Sister is a downright master sister? Do you like this tone? I knew that they also pretended to be a pitiful look, to satisfy the desire of the Wind Sister. Haha, I heard no. Feng Shiji has promised to team up with me, everyone should not turn around her. You also know that once the Wind Sisters start the fire, the average person can't eat, everyone should not ask for it. If you are injured, don't blame me for not reminding me. Yi Yuan smiled and said to everyone. After that, Yi Yuan really started the road. Naturally, some people refused to give up. After the wind and the sword almost cut off an ear, everyone was not willing to leave. At this time, Yi Yuan and Feng Yu have come to the edge of the infinite forest. The boundless forests are dangerous, so the trainees carry out infinite trials, often accompanied by 2s and 3s. The boundless trial lasts for half a month. The task of the heavenly students is to turn in 10 second-order monsters, inner Dan, and 10 second-order herbs. This task does not seem to be difficult to complete, as long as you kill 10 second-order monsters, and then take 10 herbs, it is not. The strength of the beast is often very strong, and it is stronger than the strength of the same order warrior. And there are a lot of monsters that are inhabited. Once they get stuck, there is almost no possibility of survival. And often some medicinal herbs have their own associated animal guardian, and may also be attacked by the monster when collecting drugs. Therefore, teaming up to complete the task is naturally the best choice. Sister, you have such a cold face every day, isn't it too tired? Seeing no one around, Yi Yuankai turned and snarled. What are you doing? I am willing. The wind is not good. Although it is still cold, but it seems to be playing a small temper, and it is completely different from the coldness of others who refuse to be thousands of miles away. Yi Yuan sighed and said, "Beauty, you always have to marry, how can you find such a wish?" The wind said, "You stinking men, one by one, thinking about some thoughts, there is no good thing, why should I give you a good face? You are a stick to overthrow a boatman. And don't discuss whether a man is a good thing. This is the way for men and women to be a world of heaven and earth. It's nothing wrong with this gentleman. I didn't say that I didn't want to find a Taoist. Are you in a hurry? You are so anxious, can't you be like the stinky man, look at this miss." When I was so embarrassed, I unconsciously separated Yi Yuan from other people. I am afraid that she did not realize it. Yi Yuan haha smiled and said, "The beauty of the teacher is beautiful, and the character of the sword is not moving. I am still far away. I don't want to find a Taoist. I don't know if I will give me a sword one day, then I will die too." "Oh." The wind gnashed his teeth and said, "You are really boring, can you hang on for a lifetime?" Like the wind has always been quite confident about its charm. But in front of Yi Yuan, she never found that superiority. Yi Yuan not only glared at her like her other students, but also shunned her. This frustration is something that has never been experienced before. And she can feel it. Yi Yuan's words were not intentional, but he really didn't want to have anything to do with himself. In fact, Yi Yuan did not figure out what she was, but helped her and her aunt. The wind is full of arrogance, full of thoughts or the pursuit of the ultimate martial arts. If this life is no longer in the way, it is more uncomfortable than killing her. Yi Yuan not only discovered her problems, but also gave her a practice. This set of exercises called reverse water law is like a tailor-made for her. It's 1,000 miles to practice this practice. If there is no accident, she will be able to catch up with the progress of the previous exercises in just 3 months. In this regard, although the wind has never expressed anything, in fact, the heart is still very grateful to Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan saw her look and couldn't help but smile. "Haha, don't say it, don't say it. Actually it's not that I am anxious about you, but the wind teacher is more anxious." The wind groaned. "My aunt. What happened?" Yi Yuan said it once again, and smiled and said, "Your aunt is really strange. I am obviously a little girl, but I am worried about your business." The wind heard this, but surprisingly did not express any opinions, but the face said, "Come on, you continue to open the way." Yi Yuan smiled and said, "What way to open? Let's go straight and walk in and go." Said, Yi Yuan took out 2 medicinal herbs and handed them to the wind. Chapter 124 Concentration. The wind looked at the medicinal herbs in Yi Yuan's hands, and a smell came out. She couldn't help but pinch her nose and push away Yi Yuan's hand. She frowned. "What is this medicine, so stinky?" "The second order convergence of Dan. The monsters below the third order cannot detect our breath, which will save a lot of trouble," Yi Yuan explained. The wind screamed again and again. "I don't want to, stinky. Eat yourself." Yi Yuan smiled, did not force, he swallowed one, and the other one was collected. At this time, the two have entered the scope of the infinite forest, and did not stay more, and went straight to the depths. "Hey, where are we going?" asked the wind. "Go to Chifengling first," Yi Yuantu did not say back. "Chifengling, are you crazy? There is a gathering place for stone-handed sarcophagi. At least there are tens of thousands of girders. Maybe there are third-order kings. Are you going to die?" Road. The stone armpit is the second-order monster, which is equivalent to the human spirit environment, and the third-order king is the equivalent of human condensate. It's better to say at both ends that if you are surrounded by a group of stone-handed scorpions, it's almost a dead situation. Love doesn't go, I didn't let you follow. Just to help you out, I really hope that you will protect me. Yi Yuan did not give the face. I was furious and furious. Yi Yuan, are you really taking yourself as a root? You are not worthy to give this lady a shoe. Isn't it a dead end to Chifengling? Beauty, don't feel good about yourself, I don't want to give you shoes. And, if you are not strong, you will be fine. My strength is not strong, but I will not do anything to death. Do you understand? Quote. I am not going, I want to see, how do you come out from Chifengling? The wind suffocated and stopped. Yi Yuan still did not look back, and went forward with a sigh of relief, meaning nothing stopped. The wind and Yi Yuan have been dealing with each other for a long time, and they have some temper and character. Whether it is the battle between Lin Tiancheng's life and death, or later challenging the 9-day road, Yi Yuan never did anything unsure. Moreover, although Yi Yuan is not strong in strength, but various means have emerged in an endless stream, he has not seen him suffer losses. It's not that I haven't seen Yi Yuan's loss. The only time I saw it was like it's in her own hands. The sword almost killed him. Seeing Yi Yuan's figure disappeared into her sight, and the wind smashed her teeth and chased her body in martial arts. This guy, I don't know how to let the girl a little, it's a sapwood head. I'm mad at the princess. Yi Yuan's pace is not fast, and the wind and I work will catch up. Don't wait for Yi Yuan to speak, windy and airy. Yi Yuan, don't think too much. I just don't want to go back to Beyonce. I will continue to protect you. If you die in the infinite forest, she will definitely not be able to go back. Quote. Yi Yuan's back is facing the wind, just laughing and laughing. If you can, Yi Yuan naturally does not want to go to Chifengling. However, Yuan Yangdan's main drug, the red spirit grass, grows in the place where the stone scorpion gathers, and he has to go. This arm stone is a group of monsters, and the strength is very powerful. Even if it is a warrior of condensed crystals, it is not easy to break in. It is no wonder that the response has been so great. 2 hours later, in a dense forest, a light blue shadow suddenly slashed a sword and killed a monster opposite. The shadow of the shadows falls, the breath is breathless, and the sweat is dripping. This is already the third second-order monster of the wind. In addition to these second-order monsters, she also killed more than 10 first-order monsters. Killing so many monsters, the power of the wind is naturally huge. On the side, Yi Yuan looked at the scent of sweat and did not mean to help. Yi Yuan, do you still have humanity? I am here to help you, you have been standing by and watching. At this time, I can't wait for a sword to smash Yi Yuan. For the windy sword, Yi Yuan is not too concerned about it. Although he is not a popular opponent now, but it is impossible to kill him with a sword like the last time. It is also impossible. My big lady, is your own gold expensive, refused to take the interest of Dan, now recruited the monster and blame me. I have to go a lot of places, how can you spend time in the middle of the road like this? You will kill all the way, and do not say whether it will encounter a powerful monster that is tired and exhausted. Yi Yuan did not have a good air. The boundless forest is vast and innocent. Chifengling is about 1,000 miles away from the border. It is already a very deep place for human warriors. Although Yi Yuan has a map of the periphery of the infinite forest in his hand, he can avoid some dangers around some roads, but that is too time-consuming. He can afford energy, but the green child can't afford it. So he can only go straight. Taking the concentration Dan, you can minimize the trouble, but you are not willing to take it. Yi Yuan also knows the temper of the wind and advises her that it is useless. Only when she suffers, she will change her mind. Sure enough, Yi Yuan said that the wind was suddenly realized. No wonder the monsters on the way did not attack Yi Yuan, and rushed to her, as if they did not see Yi Yuan. It turned out to be this reason. The wind knows Yi Yuan's level of refining, and naturally he will not doubt his remedy. Just thinking of the smelly smell, the wind is really prohibitive. Seeing the wind and the face changed a bit, Yi Yuan took out the remedy again and said, Sister, if you intend to accompany me to go forward, you will swallow the remedy in one go. Otherwise, we can only it's separated here. You know that this time I'm coming to the boundless forest, there's something to do, time is precious. If you go on like this, you can only be a drag on me. Although I don't want to admit it, as Yi Yuan said, she can only become the burden of Yi Yuan. The wind is so strong that she can't accept the fact that she is cumbersome. When I think of it, the wind is arrogant, and I grabbed the medicinal herbs in Yi Yuan's hands, and my eyes swallowed. The entrance of the medicinal herbs, the wind was only found to be so unpalatable in the imagination, even with the aroma of silk in the mouth overflowing the whole body. Seeing Yi Yuan's sly smile, the wind is not playing. She pointed the sword at the distance, and said, Are you deliberately teasing me? I killed you. Yi Yuan quickly evaded and laughed loudly. My missy, are you not reasonable? You think I told you at the beginning, would you believe it? The wind sighed and heard. Yi Yuan said it was really good. My own temper knows at home, even if Yi Yuan explained how delicious this medicinal medicine is, she can't take it. Chapter 125 Take the Flowers. The wind and the wind converge on the Dan. There is no infighting of the monsters along the way, the speed of the two is much faster. After half a day, the two men almost walked halfway, and Yi Yuan suddenly stopped. Why don't you go? Asked the wind. There is something good. After that, Yi Yuan went up and down a few times and came to a cave. The wind is also very curious, and he followed up. The wind is still waiting to be asked, but Yi Yuan has made a snoring gesture. He said, there should be a medicinal material called this flower in this cave, but this kind of flower usually has the iron palm flying bear guardian. The wind is different. How do you know? Some rare herbs are not only associated animals, but also associated plants. This piece of green sandalwood is the companion plant of the flower. The sandalwood can secrete a liquid into the soil, and this liquid is the nourishment of the silk flower. Yi Yuan explained. After listening to Yi Yuan's explanation, the wind was stunned. She feels that Yi Yuan is omniscient and omnipotent. It was only after a piece of green sandalwood, and he suddenly found a very rare flower. As a refining pharmacist, I have heard of scented flowers, which is a very rare second-order medicinal material. However, the description of the flower in the Compendium of Materia Medica is not exhaustive. It is obvious that the author Li Shijun did not understand the origin and use of this flower. What Lian Danwang can't figure out, Yi Yuan is like a few treasures, how the teacher behind him is against the sky. Not to mention the teacher, Yi Yuan himself is only 15 years old. What kind of genius can learn so many things when he is 15? However, the awkward surprise will only be in the heart, but the mouth will not disdain. You know more. If you can't find a flower, see what you say. Yi Yuan smiled and did not explain, and said, you will go to the iron palm flying bear for a while, I will collect the medicine. The wind stunned and immediately looked up and down, even the voice was forgotten, and angered. Yi Yuan, have you made a mistake? You are a big man, always let women do dangerous things. Go to you I won't go. Yi Yuan looked innocently. Sister, you are here to protect me, and I have the heart to watch me go to death. The iron palm flying bear is a second-order intermediate monster, the speed is fast, and when I go, it is equal to death. I don't care, I don't want to go anyway. The wind screamed and tempered. Roar. Just then, a loud roar sounded, and the quarrel between the two unexpectedly alerted the iron bear in the cave. In the black lacquered cave, a huge figure gradually appeared, full of fury, is an adult iron palm flying bear. Well, I am alarmed by the iron palm, and I am running. The wind slammed and turned and ran. After running a few steps, the wind suddenly found that something was wrong. Looking back, I found that Yi Yuan did not move at all. Yi Yuan, why are you still stupid? Run, we are not opponents of the iron palm flying bear. Shouted. The iron palm fly bear temper is very violent, seeing Yi Yuan standing still and standing there, suddenly locked him. Hey, the iron palm flying bear was again roaring and fluttering toward Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan seems to be scared and stupid at this time, still motionless. I didn't expect this to happen. The attacking power of the iron palm bear is very strong. If it is photographed by it, where is Yi Yuan's life? Although the wind and the like to Yi Yuan, but does not mean that she can really watch Yi Yuan to die. With the eye-catching effort, the iron bear flying bear has already pulled out a few dozen feet, and the huge bear's paw has already taken it to Yi Yuan. The wind blew a bite, and the body was fully open to Yi Yuan. Ding! The iron palm flying bear and the windy sword came in close contact, and even the fierce golden iron symphony sounded and sparked. The bear's paw of the iron palm is swayed, but the wind is a step back, and a burst of blood in the chest. The name of the iron palm of the iron bear flying bear is really well deserved, and the strength of a pair of bear's palms is comparable to the implement. The popular sword is a rare high-grade weapon, but it can't leave a scar on the bear's palm. At this time, Yi Yuan turned around and looked at the wind and smiled. Thank you for helping the Wind Sister to save me. Since I have already handed it over, it is difficult for me to open it. You used me. The wind blew for a while, and this reaction was overplayed by Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan did not avoid it at all, but deliberately did not evade, just waiting for her to come back to save people. Now obviously not when chatting, the Iron Palm Flying Bear has come to the front, and at this time, I want to run and can't run away. Since it is called the Iron Palm Flying Bear, it can be seen that the beast is big and not awkward, and the action is very rapid. The Iron Palm Flying Bear seems to be irritated, and it is a roar, but it leaves the leaves far away, and flies toward the wind. The wind and cold glanced at Yi Yuan and said, I will settle with you later. Hey. After that, the wind and the sword turned and went to the distance. Yi Yuan laughed happily and shouted at the back of the wind, all the Wind Sisters are careful. After that, Yi Yuan walked toward the cave without hesitation. The Iron Palm Bear is tall and the selected cave is naturally very spacious. The cave is not deep, the leaves are far into the cave, and soon the flowers are found, and there are hundreds of them. Ha ha, with these flowers, at least hundreds of condensed crystals can be cultivated. It is a luxury. Yi Yuan did not expect that there were so many flowers in this cave. The reason why Yi Yuan refused to give up this flower was actually because of a promise to Hu Yangyang. At that time, Feng Ruqing had guessed some, but she did not expect Yi Yuan to fulfill this promise so quickly. Yi Yuan was going to give Hu Yangyang a gift, which was to help him enter the condensate. Don't look at the spirit of the 9-weight condensate crystal environment is only a little bit worse, this is a world of scale. For most of the spirits, the end of their martial arts is the peak of the spirit. Breaking through the condensed crystal environment, it is definitely 1,000-strong horse crossing the single wood bridge, which is extremely difficult. We must know that Su Yubaika has been in the half-step condensate for more than 10 years, but it is too late to take this step. The difficulty of breaking through the condensed crystal environment can be imagined. According to Yi Yuan's observation, Hu Yangyang is hopeful to break through the condensed crystal environment, but it is not easy to say in time. With his help, Hu Yangyang can at least shorten this step by 30 years. Yi Yuan naturally uses medicinal herbs to help Hu Yangyang, and the medicinal materials that help the martial arts to break through the condensed crystals are called condensed crystals. The ordinary top-grade condensed crystal Dan can increase the chance of 30% crystallization. At the level of Yi Yuan, as long as it breaks through the spiritual environment, naturally it does not stop there. And silk flower is a kind of main material of condensed crystal Dan. With these condensed crystals, Yi Yuan can even create a unit of condensed crystal warriors. Such forces can almost sweep the 9 clouds. Chapter 126 The Cuteness of the Monkey. By collecting these flowers into the storage ring, Yi Yuan continued to search the depths of the cave. As a refining pharmacist, Yi Yuan is very familiar with the living habits of various monsters. The Iron Palm Flying Bear is not only the companion animal of the silk flower, but also retains some of the bear's hobbies, such as eating honey. Some honey is very rare. Yi Yuan came in just want to try his luck. This cave is very neat, and it is obvious that the Iron Bear is also very cherished here. Not long after, Yi Yuan saw a stone pier. The size of the stone pier was slightly larger than that of the Iron Bear. It was obviously the place where it lived. Yi Yuan looked around and saw that 7 or 8 groups of honeycombs were neatly placed aside. Yi Yuan's eyes were bright, and in the past he picked up a bunch of honeycombs and looked at it. It turned out to be the honey of the silver sword bee, and there are so many, it is really a treasure. It seems that the big stupid bear is reluctant to eat, has been treasured here, I did not expect to be cheaper. Oh, there is this thing, for a while, and the rumor that the gimmick confessed, otherwise she is not guilty of me. The silver sword bee is also a second-order monster, and it is very aggressive. The tail thorn is highly toxic, and most people simply don't dare to approach. This big stupid bear seems to be really thick, and even the honeycomb of the silver sword bee is given up, it is really amazing. The honey of the silver sword bee is very rare. If it is directly swallowed, the effect will not be worse than the super product. After Yi Yuan broke through the spiritual environment, cultivation also required a large amount of medicinal herbs. The borderless general-purpose Lingye cultivation is called Yuani Dan, and Yi Yuan naturally does not use such low-grade medicinal herbs. The medicinal herbs he prepares for refining are called Bishui Dan, which is more powerful than Yuanli Dan. Grade. And the honey of this silver sword bee is one of the main materials for refining Bishui Dan. So many silver sword bee honey, refining the medicinal herbs, almost enough leaves to break through to the spiritual environment 4 or 5 heavy. And silver sword bee honey has another role, that is whitening beauty. With Yi Yuan's means, refining a few of the Yan Dan bribes, this gimmick is not expected to find trouble. Which woman does not want to stay young forever? After finishing these silver sword bee honey, Yi Yuan did not stay too much, ready to leave the cave directly. If the wind can't stop, the big stupid bear comes back in advance and plugs himself in, but it's not fun. Yi Yuan quickly walked to the hole, just about to make a hole, and the warning was sudden. 4 cold lights sneaked in from 4 different directions and went straight to Yi Yuan. The strength of these 4 people is actually a spiritual environment. The 4 rays of light almost locked all the angles of Yi Yuan, just to take his life. Between the electric and the flint, Yi Yuan had no time to think about it, and he couldn't take care of his own image. He directly rolled it into the hole, avoiding these 4 attacks in danger. Even so, Yi Yuan's calf is still in the middle of a knife. Big brother, it turned out to be a child of 9 vitality, which is so serious to us. Don't underestimate this kid, a vitality can really escape our sneak attack, the strength cannot be underestimated. Afraid of him, we are the 4 spirits of Nanling, but they are the souls of the spirit. If you are a big brother, you are a 3-person spirit. This kid is blocked by us and can't fly. The sneak attacker did not chase after the victory, but blocked the hole and sealed the only way out. Yi Yuan climbed up from the ground and only felt that the calf was burning and hurting. Yi Yuan shuo sputum toxicity, knowing that this knife is quenched and poisoned, not by the brow wrinkles, from the storage ring to find a self-refinement of the detoxification Dan, this has suppressed the toxicity. Nanling Siji saw Yi Yuan's move and did not stop it. He just looked at him like a smile. One of them said, "The kid is useless. This poison is what we asked from Nanling Siji from the 5 poisonous beasts. It is the 2nd-order monster, and it will be poisoned after half a day, let alone your small one. The small vitality is 9-fold. The general detoxification Dan can't solve this poison at all." Yi Yuan ignored him, but asked the warrior who looked like the boss, "You are a beast hunter. Look at these people's costumes is quite shabby. The age is also too large, obviously not a Danwu College students, it can only be a monster beast. It is about 500 miles from the border, and it is where the sorcerer of the spirits is often seen. In the boundless trial, not only will the attackers and monsters be attacked, but the beast hunter is also one of the sources of danger." They had done the job of slashing blood, and the students of Danwu College were all proud of their talents and enjoyed countless resources for cultivation. Under this comparison, naturally there are many monster hunters who are unbalanced in their hearts. And some of them will choose to start with the trainees. There have been a lot of students who have died in the hands of the wicked hunter. Yes, if I expected it to be good, you should be a student of Danwu College. It seems that Danwu College has come to the endless trial. The boss said. "Why are you attacking me?" Yi Yuan asked again. Boss smiled and pointed to the place where the flowers were originally said, "Nature is for your precious herbs. There should be a lot of herbs here. It seems that you should be taken away. We can give you a good time." Quote. After listening to this boss, Yi Yuan couldn't help but smile. "I have never let go of me if I hand over the medicine." "Oh, sorry, who made you a Danwu Academy? Let you go, wait for you to have a boundless forest, and have a living path for our Nanling 4 masters. What do you waste? You can't grab it directly." Yi Yuan didn't have a good air. The boss laughed, and a pair of gestures in his grasp said, "There is a natural meaning of speaking. You know what poison is on our knife. This poison is called 100 interest, that is to say, you will be in the breath. The poisoning method, no resistance, will die within half a day. From the beginning of your poisoning, to the time of almost 90 interest. 10, 9, 8, 1, down. This, every 100 interest rate. Nanling 4 Jia tried repeatedly, even if the body is huge, the monster is in this poison, and it is crashing into the ground. Yi Yuan is just a matter of strength, and naturally it is impossible to escape this ending. However, after he finished his 10-day interest, the word, down, was exported, but Yi Yuan still stood there and did not mean to fall. Well, is it wrong for me? Is there a bit of time? The boss wondered. Yi Yuan looked at the boss of the Nanling 4 Jia, and couldn't help but sigh and said, "Are you a funny match from the monkeys? Play with the little boy, you are still tender. Xiao Yi, when playing poison, your grandfather may not have been born yet." Chapter 127 Provocative. Although the detoxification of Yi Yuan's refining system is only second order, the composition of the elixir is completely different from that of Yi Hang. Taking the detoxification of Dan, facing the spirits of the Qin state, Yi Yuan can be said that it is not poisonous. Detoxification Dan, who was rehearsed by Dandy, was really a joke if it was poisoned by several spirits. After Yi Yuan's words were finished, the face of Nanling's 4 masters suddenly fell. A teenage boy said in front of his face that his grandfather was still not born, which sounds strange. Could it be said that this kid is an old monster, but is it only to stay in the face to maintain this face? Boss quickly denied this idea. Danwu College was admitted to the hospital to accept bone age detection. If this kid is really an old monster, it is impossible to enter Danwu College. And Yi Yuan Mingming is only a vitality, which old monster strength is so bad. Therefore, the boss finally decided that Yi Yuan was purely playing for him. Hey, your detoxification is a treasure, even the odds are actually useless to you. But do you think that you can escape from the hands of our 4 people by your own power? The boss sneered. Yi Yuan did not have the slightest panic, but smiled lightly. Nanling dead dog is it? You can try it. After that, a green spike appeared in the hands of Yi Yuan, and the coldness was pressing. It is the Kenghua sword. When Kenghua's sword came out, the unique breath of the spirit instantly enveloped the Nanling 4. Most of the wicked hunters are well-informed people. When Kenghua Jian appeared, they felt different. Spirit. It must be a spirit. Treasures and implements, absolutely no such fluctuations. Nanling boss exclaimed, his eyes instantly became greedy. The other 3 were reminded by the Nanling boss, and they suddenly responded, and they also showed a very greedy look in their eyes. Ha 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 ha, I can't think of my Chen Jaicho can actually have a spiritual device, really God cares. Kid, your family has not taught you the truth of the money. Since you show the spirit, then you are welcome. Nanling boss laughed. Chen Jaicho was a little excited at this time, but it was a spirit. He never dreamed that he could have a spirit in this life. Chen Jaicho has begun to imagine the scene of holding the Kenghua sword to kill the quartet. It is exciting to think about it. Yi Yuan looked at Chen Jaicho and smiled like a smile, is it? But there is only one thing, but you have 4 people. How do you plan to distribute it? Yi Yuan's voice fell, and Nanling's 4 masters were all changed. They just imagined that they had a spiritual device, but they forgot that there was only one problem with the spirit. Hey, I want to provoke our 4 brothers to leave, the boy is too tender. The problem of distribution, waiting to kill you, our brothers will naturally discuss slowly, you will not have to worry about you. Chen Jaicho has been on the rivers and lakes for so many years, and soon responded to Yi Yuan's intention to use his words to stabilize his brother. However, as far as Yi Yuan said, Chen Jaicho also thought about how to deal with the belonging of this spirit. When he grabs the spirit, he will find a chance to kill all the other 3 people. This sword belongs to him alone. What Nanling Siji, what brothers are deep, nothing in front of the spirits. The world's weak meat and strong food of the warrior is only the last word. Chen Jaicho was born and died for so many years, can you not understand this truth? Is it? But I see what you just said, not like you want to share it with your brothers. You don't want to stabilize your brothers first, and then kill them after you grab the spirits. Don't be excited, I just guessed, ha, ha. Yi Yuan said with a smile. Chen Jaicho was debunked in thought, and could not help but anger, you were looking for death. Our brother was born and died for so many years, love is more than Jin Jian, do you think that you will be fooled when you provoke? Brothers, kill this kid first. Oh, yeah, angry. You said that you are more than Jin Jian, do you dare to make a pledge? Don't you dare. But, let's kill you first. Second, third, fourth, what are you still stupid to do? Isn't the relationship between us more than a few words from this kid? Chen Jaicho the look of heartache. The other three face each other, but it is still a delay. It is obvious that Yi Yuan's words are working. Oh, it's not that the feelings are not deep, but the interests are too heavy. The temptation of the spirits is too great. Who can resist? In my opinion, several of you are sultry people. The former feelings are good because there is no temptation for great interests. But now there is a spirit in front of you, who can't be calm. Some of you are not his opponents. Once he got the spirit, do you still have a way to live? Yi Yuan was stunned. Yi Yuan's words made the other three faces change again, and the spirits were no better, and they did not have their own lives. This Lingnan Siji is notorious among the wicked hunters, and all of them are sultry and ruthless. Say that they are 4 monster hunters, it is better to say that they are hunters. They often shot at other monster hunters, causing anger and anger. However, the strength of these 4 people is so strong that no one dares to provoke them and they try to hide from them. These 4 people seem to be a piece of iron, but in fact each has its own flaws. Li Zi is currently, where can they still go back as usual? At this time, the second child finally spoke. Big brother, we don't believe you, but the spirit is too important. We still have to discuss how to deal with it, and then it is better to send each other's vows. The second child said this. Chen Jaicho's mood suddenly sank, apparently it was already a murder. However, Chen Jaicho is the most embarrassing of the 4, and naturally will not be brought out on the surface. Chen Jaicho haha smiled. In this case, then our brothers will discuss the matter first. Anyway, this kid can't run, no matter what time. Seeing this scene, Yi Yuan's mouth flashed a sneer. The bystander is clear, he knows that Chen Jaicho has already murdered. The 3 men still thought about a piece of cake at this time, and naturally they could not see Chen Jaicho's thoughts. When the 3 met the boss so well, they could not help but relax. You may have some thoughts on your second child. Let's talk to the brothers. Chen Jaicho couldn't see the slightest color on his face. The old man nodded and said, the instrument is a heavy device. It is easy to show people. Otherwise, the 4 of us will definitely be chased to the ends of the earth. Finally, can we keep it or say 2 things? So, see our brothers have a spirit. Man must die. As a result of this, the other 3 people all share the same feelings and nod their heads. At this time, the strength of Chen Jaicho's body has been quietly running, and the danger is slowly approaching. Chapter 128 Case caused by a spirit. As for the attribution of this spirit, I think it can be a year. The boss is the strongest, using half a year, the remaining 6 months are allocated by the 3 of us, 2 months each. The more the second child said, the more excited he was, and he felt that his distribution plan was very reasonable. Cannot dispel the boss's dissatisfaction, he can also use the spirit of a period of time. Hey, this method is good, I agree. Chen Jaicho nodded. What do the brothers think? Asked the second child. The third and fourth most naturally have no opinions. The second child said again, if this is the case, then we will be so sure. But in order to fear that everyone will repent in the future, we will still make a vow of heaven. The second child had not finished talking, and the whole person flew out. He was madly squirting in the air, unable to fall on the ground, and there was already no air in the air. It was obvious that he was not alive. The next change was too sudden, and the third and fourth did not even react. Chen Jaicho did not hesitate. After the sneak attack on the second child, he had already prepared for the attack and attacked the third child. A cold man flashed, and the blade cut off the third arm at a very fast speed. It was also the reaction of the third child, and he leaned a little on the side, otherwise he was cut into 2 halves. The third child screamed, and quickly ran the force, wanting to stop the wound bleeding. The fourth child looked at Chen Jaicho with horror and angered. Boss, what do you mean? A sneak attack succeeded, and a big stone in Chen Jaicho's heart fell to the ground. Among the 4 masters of Lingnan, the strength of the fourth is the worst, and only the spirit is heavy. It is not difficult to deal with. What he fears most is the combination of the second and the third, which is somewhat troublesome. If they fight both sides and lose both sides, isn't it cheaper next to the kid? Hey, it doesn't mean anything, I mean, isn't the fourth child you still don't know? Chen Jiecho said with a smile. The old four face changed, biting his teeth. How are you, boss? We have 4 brothers together for 10 years. You are actually trying to get a hand to the life and death brothers for a spiritual device. Chen Jiecho sneered. Life and death brothers. Don't think that I don't know your anecdote. In the past few years, your wings have been hard. How many spoils have you swallowed? I didn't blink one eye at a time. Every time I met strong enemy, the fourth, you were running faster than the rabbit. Who is it for you? Now it's hard to meet a spirit. You actually want to share a piece with lousy. This piece of sword is placed in your hand. Use a fart. Even if you do, you can't kill. The brothers have been so many years of feelings, what can't be discussed? The fourth child was very angry. Consulting a fart. I still don't know the temperament of some of your guys. If anything else is down, this is a psychic. It's hard to get the spirits of even the old ecstasy. How are you? May I see that I use it alone? So, still kill it. This piece of artifact is my Chen Jiecho. Chen Jiecho said that the more excited. The face of the old four has changed a lot. In the end, he still served softly. He begged. Big brother, I have the weakest strength among the 4 brothers. I never thought I could have a spiritual device. Now my second brother and third brother are killed and injured. I am even less threatened. Can you let me go? I can make a vow to heaven and never say anything about your possession. The fourth child said very sincerely, and a pair of uncontested postures made Chen Jiecho calm down. After a little silence, Chen Jiecho nodded. Well, let's swear. The old four heard great news and quickly thanked. Thank you, big brother. The fourth child did not hesitate to raise his finger and said, I swear in the name of heaven, and never let the big brother get the spiritual thing today, otherwise. The 4th day of the swearing of the vows of the 4th half, the change again. Chen Jiecho's knives have been rolled over to the 4th in the thunder. The 4th child thought that the boss really let him go. When did he think that he was so mad, he had already started to kill. Almost no defense, the knives penetrated the heart of the 4th. Until now, the 2nd and 4th are dead, and the 3rd child has half-life. The knife mouth is poisonous, and the 3rd child is at most half a day. After doing all this, Chen Jiecho looked at Yi Yuan and smiled. Congratulations, you are successful, our 4 brothers, now I am alone. Yi Yuan shrugged and smiled. You were really a brother in the Lingnan dead dog. I just saw that I was moved and I was crying. Chen Jiecho was too lazy to pay attention to Yi Yuan's irony and said, I thought you would just run away, I didn't expect you to hold back. You are not always guarding me. If I escape, you can give me a thunder blow, isn't it? Yi Yuan said. Chen Jiecho is a bit strange. I can't think of your strength as a kid. Observing is quite meticulous and personal. But not so, you can't provoke our brothers to kill each other. Chen Jiecho is very sinister, even his own brothers count, not to mention Yi Yuan. Although he was dealing with the other 3 people just now, he has been paying attention to Yi Yuan's every move. As long as Yi Yuan dares to move, he will certainly give Yi Yuan a blow. Haha, praised. Yi Yuan laughed. Already solved the other 3, Chen Jiecho was not in a hurry at this time, but chatted with Yi Yuan. When you are so young, you have the vitality of 9-fold cultivation. I am afraid that the status is not low in Danwu College. But it is really regrettable that you are a genius like this today. Speaking of regret, Chen Jiecho's expression is very exciting. Get a piece of spirit, and kill a genius, no matter how you think it is a very refreshing thing. Yi Yuan looked at Chen Jiechi with pity and smiled. You said that you are a monkey like teasing. How come you have no awareness? Well, it's a bit unrealistic to expect a teasing. It doesn't know who gives them. Your confidence makes you feel that you can kill me. Chen Jiecho heard a word and immediately laughed and said, ha ha ha, I really laughed at me, a boy who is full of vitality, actually dared to be so arrogant, really a typical academic. I know that your college students are very powerful, the challenge can be more difficult. If you are a spiritual person, I really can't talk to you like this, but unfortunately, you are just a matter of strength. Chen Jiecho is a triple of spirit liquid. In his view, it is not completely crushed to deal with the vitality. Even if he is a genius. Yi Yuan shook his head and sighed. Do you know why I have to provoke dissension and let you kill each other? Do you think I just want to take the opportunity to escape? You are wrong. Big mistake. Chapter 129 The Nine Swords of the Qing Dynasty Drifting Zero Sword. Oh, wrong. I want to hear, how is it wrong? Chen Jiecho thinks that Yi Yuan is very funny. A vitality and effort to let their brothers kill each other, not to escape, is it still to kill them? And the fact is that it is. Actually, I started to take out the Kangwa sword. I just wanted to try the feelings between your brothers. I didn't expect the result to surprise me. It was surprisingly good. The reason why I spent so much effort to provoke you is because I am not sure to kill you at the same time. Everyone. The lesser things, the less people know the better. Yi Yuan laughed. Haha. I really don't know how high the earth is. You mean that the four of us are not added to your opponent? Chen Jiecho is like a funny joke. Yi Yuan nodded and admits. Yes, that's it. I really don't know what to do. Do you think that there is a spirit? Can you fight across a big realm? I want to try it. The talented students of Danwu College, whether they have real skills or just idiots. Chen Jiecho was also angered by Yi Yuan's attitude. Walking around the edge of life and death, Chen Jiecho's strength is very strong. Not to mention the martial arts, it is in the three aspects of the spirit of the environment, he is also a very strong kind. Of course, it is still much worse than the kind of master of the Danwu Academy. Oh, rest assured, you will see it soon. As soon as the voice fell, Yi Yuan's momentum was changed, as if the whole person had become a sword. It seems to feel the sword meaning of Yi Yuan, and the Kangwa sword actually trembled in Yi Yuan's hand. Spirits are called spirits because they are spiritual. This spirituality does not mean that they produce intelligence, but that they can resonate to some extent with the military. This kind of resonance can increase the strength of the warrior, and because of this, the spirit will be more powerful than the treasure and the implement. Seeing the change of Yi Yuan, the calm color of Chen Jiecho's face was instantly swallowed and replaced by the dignified color. He couldn't think of it, and the district was full of vitality, and it was able to send such a powerful sword. Chen Jiecho finally understood why Yi Yuan was not in a hurry to escape. He doesn't need to run away at all. Such a strong sword meaning does threaten his strength. This is my first time to display the law of the Qing dynasty. You were the first person to see it. You should be honored. Yi Yuanjian said that Chen Jiecho said. On the 9-day road, Yi Yuan merged the two swords of Xingyan Ziyang's sword, and his own, Falling Flowers and Zero Swords, and named it Qingyi Floating Zero Sword. Although the spirit of the Qing dynasty is strong, it also requires swords to display. There is no intention, no roots, there is no intention, there is a shape. Yi Yuan's eyes are extremely high, and it is the best reason to be suitable for himself. Therefore, he did not think about going to the Yunyunzong to learn the sword of the Xingyan Ziyang's sword, but chose the homemade trick. Homemade moves are not that fun, and it's extremely difficult to learn from others, not to mention creating them. Being able to create your own moves is a talent for the future. Only Yi Yuan dared to play like this. However, due to the rush of time, Yi Yuan only completed the prototype of the first move. Hey, your sword is strong, there is no support for strength, how powerful can it be? I still don't believe it, you are a 9 powerful, really can kill me. Chen Jiecho coldly said. 5 Ghost Funeral, kill me. Chen Jiecho decided to start with a strong hand, and a shot as a killer. The Ghost of the 5 Ghosts is Chen Jiecho's famous stunt. He has been invading this martial art for nearly 10 years. It can be said that it is pure. A knife smashed out, suddenly a whistling sound, such as a ghost crying, it is actually a human soul. This martial art is actually very powerful, and the general warrior will be careful if he accidentally. It is a pity that Chen Jiechi met Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan realized his heart is a water stop on Jutian Road. This kind of dementing has no effect on him at all. At this time, Yi Yuan's swordsmanship has also been completed. The first style of the green sword and the zero sword, 9 swords. Yi Yuan sighed and sighed, and turned into 9 figures. 9 leaves far away from the sword at the same time, actually issued 9 green swordsmen. After the 9 swordsmanship came first, Chen Jiecho was covered in the whole person. Chen Jiecho was shocked. He still had to cut down on Yi Yuan and quickly slashed his knife. Hey! A series of sounds of gold and iron symphony sounded. Chen Jiecho was in a hurry and was able to block the sword. Chen Jiecho really deserves to be the strongest of the 3 spirits. These 9 swordsmanships are issued by Kangwa's sword, and they are extremely powerful. He has actually blocked most of them. However, there is still a swordman who broke through his defensive circle and ruthlessly penetrated his left arm. Ah! Chen Jiecho screamed and painfully grabbed his left arm. His left arm is and fuzzy, apparently abolished. Chen Jiecho is not the old rivers and lakes. After the move, he did not say anything. He swept away at a very fast speed, but he had to escape. Obviously, he is already quite sure that he is not the opponent of Yi Yuan. Escape is the most important thing. However, Yi Yuan obviously will not give him this opportunity. Almost at the first time he turned to escape, Yi Yuan took away the Kangwa sword and pointed his left finger. Absolute Yang. This is already a perfect level of Absolute Yang, and the lethality is absolutely impressive. Chen Jiecho did not think that Yi Yuan's strain was so fast. This finger was extremely fast, and he simply couldn't get a defense. Just listening to the Fu Kai sound, the invisible strength directly penetrated Chen Jiecho's calf. Ah! Chen Jiecho was another scream and fell to the ground. Telling you not to run will you give you the chance to escape? Yi Yuan went a few steps forward, faint. Chen Jiecho didn't care about the pain of his hands and feet. He even squatted in front of Yi Yuan, crying and mourning, "Little brother, forgive me. I have Chen Jiecho, I don't know Taishan, I ran into my brother, I am damn. My brother is going around my life. I am willing to make you a cow." Yi Yuan is shaking his head. "I see that some of your brothers are all people who are full of evil. Killing you is also a way for the heavens. You can't accept such a cow and horse. Let's go with peace of mind." After that, he did not give Chen Jiechi a chance to take his first class directly. For this kind of scum, Yi Yuan has no mercy. Recalling the scene of the 9-sword style, Yi Yuan frowned and said to himself, "The 9 swords still need to be perfected. These 9 swordsmanships are unevenly matched, and the swords have not reached the same pace. There are still some time differences." Quote. Yi Yuan shook his head and sighed, apparently not satisfied with the blow. Just then, a faint voice sounded. "Les, small man, ask, please beg you, help me." Chapter 130. I am sending my sister to 100 years. Yi Yuan looked at it, but it turned out to be the 3rd child of Nanling Siji. He was cut off by Chen Jiecho, but the knife mouth was poisonous, and it was already poisoned. The antidote is kept by Chen Jiecho, so he will leave the 3rd child. Nanling's 3rd child didn't have time to be surprised at Yi Yuan's power. He remembered that Yi Yuan had taken the detoxification of his own, and the results were not useful. It is only Yi Yuan who can save him now. Yi Yuan looked at Nanling's old 3 eyes with pity and said, "Hey, you can live, you can't live. You want to rob others, you must be acquainted with the murder. And you can die in the hands of your own brothers. You can also look at it." Just now, Yi Yuan stood by and watched the 4 people without a good thing. Yi Yuan is not a fledgling little rookie, and naturally will not make such a low-level mistake. Seeing that Yi Yuan is going to go, Nanling is in a hurry, and he quickly yells, "Young man, I have important information, I only want to save my life." Yi Yuan is too lazy to pay attention to this guy and pick up the storage ring left by several people. Although I don't expect to find anything good in these guys, it's a trophy. "Young man, I really have important information. A few days ago, we passed through the Lianyu Canyon. We found that the monsters around the canyon rioted and rushed to the depths of the canyon. Bao is born." The youngest man in Nanling was afraid that Yi Yuan had really left, and he said it first. Yi Yuan listened, but he sneered, "There are such heavens and treasures, why don't you go? Can the monsters riot in the collective treasures, is it waiting for you? You are going to the Lianyu Canyon, I am afraid not only is it easy for me to save you. What do I have? Lesser chivalry. In the face of Yi Yuan's gaze, Nanling's third child is somewhat supportive. He did not expect that Yi Yuan was young and had such a mature mind. Yi Yuan smiled and said, "Well, in order to make you die, I promise you will go to the Lianyu Canyon. Since you are still dying to play with me, don't blame me." After that, Yi Yuanyi took a picture of the Tianling cover of Nanling's third child. Less heroes. Ah! With a scream, Nanling's third child was completely dead. Although Nanling's third child said such a message as to dying, but he has to say that he mistakenly hit the number of Yi Yuan's life. As a refining pharmacist, Yi Yuan really has no immunity to Tiansai Dabao. If he does not go to see him, he will not give up. After dealing with the things here, a blue suit floated from a distance, not who was the wind. The wind came to the front, and without saying a word, a sword stabbed the leaves. Yi Yuan quickly retired and shouted, "Sister, I have something to say." "Speak to you. Eat me a sword and say it." Where is the wind, and the backhand is a sword. However, the popular sword seems to be fierce, but in fact did not use killing tricks. Since the last time I killed Yi Yuan, the wind has learned a lot. Today's Yi Yuan, it is not that she can easily settle with a sword. Of course, Yi Yuan will naturally not fight back. He would have suffered from it. "Sister, I am doing this for you." Ah, there was another sword in the room, and Yi Yuan shouted and quickly jumped away. "For me, it's a good talk. Do you know how much I have spent a lot of effort to get rid of that big stupid bear? Less nonsense, then eat me a sword." The wind was set aside by the leaves, and he had to take the iron palm to fly for him. "Don't mention how many fires there are. Sister, do you want to stop first?" "Oh, you listen to me and explain slowly," Yi Yuan said as he fled. "Is there any explanation? You stand for me, eat me with a sword and say it." The two chased one and one escape, and in a blink of an eye more than a dozen swords, the wind is not willing to stop. Yi Yuan was also caught in the fire, suddenly standing in shape, eyes closed, Ren Fengjian's sword stabbed. "I didn't expect Yi Yuan to come out like this. I was shocked. If this sword is sturdy, where is Yi Yuan's life?" Yi Yuan helped them a lot of aunts, and they were very grateful. The pursuit of Yi Yuan is only for the sake of scatter, not really want to hurt him. Yi Yuan's move was too sudden, and the wind was too late to respond. At this time, it was too late to receive the sword. However, the wind is good, it is the strongest of the four spirits. The control of the sword has reached a very strong level, and the trajectory of the sword has been changed halfway. This sword was dangerously crossed from Yi Yuan's ear and was extremely thrilling. At this time, Yi Yuan's face and the popular face were almost stuck together. Yi Yuan closed his eyes, and the breath of the wind was like a blue, so that Yi Yuan could not help but feel a sigh. The wind is first and pretty, then it is a step back and angry. "Yi Yuan, are you crazy? Do you know how dangerous it is?" Yi Yuan opened his eyes and suddenly smiled. "No, such sister will not stop. I know that my sister is distressed, I will not kill me. Come. Don't think that I don't dare to kill you." The wind lifted the sword again, but at this time the thread appeared so pale and powerless. Yi Yuan laughed and pulled the sword away. "Sister, you have to let me finish the words if you want to kill me." The wind smashed the sword and said, "Well, I will listen to what you said. If you can't say why, come back, let's go behind." After that, the wind was so hot that I turned my back. Yi Yuan smiled and said, "I sent my sister to the ages for 100 years. This explanation, can my sister be satisfied?" The wind heard the words, "Face is not old." The anger on his face was swallowed and replaced with curiosity. She turned and curiously said, "What centuries is not old? You say it clearly." Yi Yuan smiled and explained the function of the silver sword bee honey. The wind stunned and immediately came to the interest, and asked Yi Yuan to ask, "What are you talking about? What kind of station Yandan can really keep my appearance for 100 years? Yi Yuan smiled and said, 100 years is just a start. If I play the extraordinary and refine the best in Yandan, 150 years is no problem. Moreover, Yandan can not only let you maintain your present appearance. It will moisturize your skin and make your skin win the snow. Really, Doesn't that mean, I want to look better than now? At this time, there is no arrogance of the arrogant woman, and a little girl who is not worthy of the world. But this is no stranger to her. As long as it is a woman, let her be a high-spirited person, or a generation of glory, they all look very important to their appearance. The wind is just a little princess in the mortal country, and it will definitely be old in the future. Such an old age is the most fearful thing for every woman, even more terrible than death, so they are desperately trying to delay the arrival of this day. Chapter 131 Depressed Team. In a place hundreds of miles away from Yi Yuan and the wind, 4 spirits are being besieged by a powerful lion-type monster. Damn guy, Chong Yi, attacking its eyes. Chong Tu, Chong San, we hold it together. A teenager commanded the other 3. Yes, young master, the 3 people should be in unison. This lion-type monster is a powerful anomaly, and it is already the peak of the second-order midterm. It is not far from the second-order breakthrough. The 4 people teamed up to deal with this monster. It seems to be a little hard. With the boy's order, the other 3 were acquainted with the tacit understanding, just like one that often rises and jumps to the top of the lion-type monster. The monster will naturally not let this guy threaten himself, and raise a claw to catch it. The other 3 will give him this opportunity to attack the lion-like monster's abdomen like a raindrop. After all, it is the warrior in the middle of the 3 spirits. Even if the monster's defense is strong, he will not let such an attack. As a last resort, the monster retracted its paws and was guarded by the attack. At this time, often one is to seize the opportunity to make the eyes of the beasts bloody. The 4 people were all happy, and a series of attacks attacked the monster again, and the monster was directly shot. The monster was severely wounded, not only did not retreat, but was mad. Roar. The lion-type monster screamed and madly attacked the 4. Be careful, it's dying, don't fight it. We wandered and attacked, slowly consuming its power, it won't last long. The boy told him. Yes, young master. In fact, these 3 people are old rivers and lakes, do not need to tell the young man how to do it. Soon after, the lion-type monster fell to the ground and the 4 of them drew a sigh of relief. When the monster was dead, the 4 people sat on the ground and gasped, and they were all hurt. Damn, we are delayed by this monster, we are getting farther away from Yi Yuan. The young man took a medicinal herb and gnashed his teeth. This boy is preparing to kill Yi Yuan's Su Yishan in the boundless trial, while the other 3 are the Su family's 3 brothers. When you entered the infinite forest, there were so many people, and they naturally couldn't do it with Yi Yuan. But who knows that Yi Yuan and the wind are getting faster and faster, they can't keep up. It's not that they are slow, but they are always harassing them. Just now this monster is the most powerful one they have encountered, and it is a time that has delayed them for a full time. The young master is assured that my worms will follow them, and sooner or later they will catch up with them. Chong Yi said. Su Yishan knows Chang's ability to track, but he now feels very angry. I am wondering, Yi Yuan is also from here, why is this monster only attacking us? Maybe we are not lucky. Chang Yi said with a certainty. Even if I have a lot of experience, I can't think of it. Luck. Their luck is too good. We tracked this way. There was no trace of fighting in the place they walked. That is, they have never experienced a battle, and we are big and small. Have you experienced more than a dozen battles? Su Yishan said that the more he came, the last punch was heavily squatting on the ground, and the muddy soil was flying. There are some evil doors. The road they walked through was simply a straight line, as if they were going straight to wherever. In the infinite forest, no one dared to go so far. There are many second-order senior demon on this road. In the land of the beast, if they were alarmed, they would have to peel off the skin if they didn't die. Chong Yi also felt very puzzled. Yes, is it true that those monsters are blind, and they simply can't feel them? If we continue this way, we will not find them, and we will be killed by these monsters. Su Yishan hated. Originally, he thought that killing Yi Yuan in the infinite forest was a very simple matter. I did not expect it to be difficult now. The more you go, the stronger the strength of the monster. If you go straight again, you will definitely not be able to do so. You must avoid the territories of the powerful monsters and go back. But in this case, when can I find Yi Yuan? Before coming, Su Yubai told him that the infinite forest is the best and last chance, but the leaves are far from death. If you let Yi Yuan out of the boundless forest, Sujia will usher in countless troubles. Chang Yi is also aware that the problem is a little troublesome. Before this time, the owner has already ordered the death, and must kill Yi Yuan. If you can't complete the task, come and see. The owner has never made such an order, showing how much this Yi Yuan's threat to the Su family. Chang Yi took a deep breath and took out a map of the infinite forest from the storage ring and spread it to the front of Su Yishan. Young master, this is really not the way to go. Since they are heading to a certain place, why don't we find that place and then ambush? Chang Yi suggested. Su Yishan heard the words and immediately calmed down and nodded. You said it is good. Tell me what you think. Chang Yi stretched out his finger and pointed at the map. He said, you see, they haven't stopped for a moment since they entered the infinite forest. They walked along this line to the northwest. With their strength, it's impossible to go to in-depth places must be within 1,000 miles. Within the range of 1,000 miles, where are they most likely to go? Chifengling, Su Yishan blurted. Chang Yi's fingers began at the entrance and extended to 1,000 kilometers northwest. It was marked with Chifengling. Hey, is Yi Yuan crazy? Going to such a dangerous place in Chifeng Ridge? Su Yishan took a breath. Chang Yi shook his head. According to common sense, he naturally went to Chifeng Ridge to save us. But from the current situation, this Yi Yuan means is really bad. If you don't say anything, just say that he can all the way to not disturb these high-level monsters is the same ability. And according to my guess, he went to Chifengling. It is likely to find what medicine for his little maid. Often the analysis of the whipping into the inside, almost exactly the same fact. Since he came to kill Yi Yuan, Chang Yi naturally did his homework. He has already understood Yi Yuan very thoroughly, and even the details of green children have been noticed. Su Yishan suddenly woke up, could not help but look at the one-on-one look, and looked at him. No wonder the father sent him to kill Yi Yuan. This person should not be underestimated. Obviously, the analysis of Chang Yi has almost no flaws, which is the most reasonable explanation. At first, Su Yishan was worried that Yi Yuan would not participate in the trial, and finally proved that his fears were superfluous. Yi Yuan will not be stupid enough to think that he will let him go, but he is still here. That means he has reasons to have to come. And this reason is exactly green. Chapter 132 Swing into the big swing. Chang Yi, then what do you say we should do now? Su Yishan actually sought the advice of Chang Yi. Chang Yi also appeared to be somewhat surprised. He still had some understanding of this little master. Su Yishan has a kind of pride in his bones, often looking down on the offerings of these Su families. But today, he actually asks for his opinion. It seems that Su Yishan has grown a lot during this time. Such Su Yishan is worthy of the style of the Su family successors. I often don't hesitate to say what I want. Whether they go to Chifengling, there must be a destination. And they want to get this medicine. I'm afraid it's not that easy. We just follow the fans. The direction of the insect's guides to chase, lay an ambush in advance, forgive him cannot escape. We will pay attention to avoid some powerful monsters' territory in the future, always chasing in this direction. So even if it is farther away, the maximum is only half a day. Time, I can definitely get it. Su Yishan thought for a moment and felt that Chang Yi was justified. They didn't know the purpose of Yi Yuan at first, so they chased them indiscriminately, and the time blocked by the monsters was longer. Now that there is direction, naturally, they are not afraid that they will run away. It may be faster to bypass the territory of the powerful monster. Okay, just do what you said. Let's adjust the interest first, then set off later. Su Yishan ordered. Yi Yuan got the wind, and each of them took a conducive dan and rushed to Chifengling. Yi Yuan, are the 4 people killed by you? You are so powerful. The wind is a bit different from the strength of Yi Yuan, but the 4 spirits of the martial arts, all of them died in the hands of Yi Yuan. Yi Yuanahe smiled and said, which I have the ability to make a small plan. Let them kill each other and have this kind of victory. This is the release of the wind. It turned out to be like this, scare me. If you can kill them 4 people alone, is it already the strength of the top 30 of Wubang? The original positioning of Yi Yuan was roughly 50 in Wubang. This strength, defeating several ordinary men of the spirits, is not a problem. The wind knows that the strength of the wicked hunter is stronger than that of the general warrior, and that among the 4 people, there is a 3-person warrior. Yi Yuan can leave them 4 at the same time, and then raise a dozen. Yi Yuankai is very energetic. Jucho Zhouzhong has the strength of the top 30 of Wubang, so when he broke through the spiritual environment, how terrible is it? It's incredible to think about it. Yi Yuan also denied her guess, otherwise I feel that I have been feeding the dog for so many years of hard work. You are really scheming. A few old rivers and lakes, you have been played by you. After the winds and reliefs, I could not help but despise Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan haha smiled and said, whoever makes the younger brother's strength is not good, do not move some thoughts, can't you keep your life? Or the wind teacher will not let the sister to protect me. The wind is also thinking about it, but the mouth is saying, let's come, your life is very big. Even the 9 days of the road can't die. It seems that even God is too lazy to accept you. Yi Yuanshao smiled, but he did not answer. What the wind said is really, the 9-day road Yi Yuan is not in the eyes. However, in the domain of the gods, it is already dead, but now it is standing here. Yi Yuan is now thinking like a dream. About half a day later, Yi Yuan was finally rushed to Chifengling. It is very dangerous here. In addition to the stone sarcophagus, there are many powerful monsters outside Chifengling. The extent of the infinite forest, the monster hunter is never dare to get involved. Even the martial arts warrior came here with care, and if it was surrounded by a stone armor, it would eventually be a death to the cocoon. The two found a safe place to hide and secretly observed the situation on Chifeng Ridge. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. It looks scared and jumps. Although the woods are very dense, the white stone of the arm is faintly visible, and it looks very glaring. They swam in threes and threes, as if they were patrolling. These are all in the same group. How do you feel like you are on a mountain? The wind looked at Yi Yuan with some surprise, and said, the stone scorpion is extremely intelligent, and the consciousness of the territory is stronger than other monsters. And they are hierarchically divided into squadrons, sergeants, and scorpions. The sarcophagus lives a group life, and no one else can touch them. In the territory, once an intruder is found, they will attack and attack. Yi Yuan explained. After listening to Yi Yuan's explanation, the wind is different, isn't it? Since you are so familiar with this habit of walking through the stone, come to Chifengling, isn't it looking for death? Listening to the meaning of Yi Yuan, the exclusivity and aggressiveness of the armed sarcophagus are very strong. Once they are discovered, they will be extremely dangerous. The so-called Scorpion, and Scorpion King correspond to the first, second and third orders, respectively. Not to mention the squad and the king, that is, the tens of thousands of soldiers, drowning the two with the maritime tactics. Yi Yuan looked at the wind and smiled helplessly. Seeing Yi Yuan's ironic smile, the wind is a big fire. What smile do you laugh? Is it wrong? Yi Yuan pointed to his own head and smiled. Why is the human race strong? It is not because cultivation is faster than the demon, nor because the body is better than the demon, but because the intelligence is much stronger than the demon. So, do things. I have to move my mind before, instead of thinking about escaping or rushing. Do you understand? Do you mean that you have a solution? Then you are going to say it. Well, no. Okay. Yi Yuan, do you just mean to say that I am stupid than the monster? The wind quickly returned to the smell, and the anger value was rising rapidly. However, this time she learned the lesson. She did not scream, but spoke, but the expression on her face became colder and colder. Yi Yuan sighed. I said that you don't want to be so sensitive to your sister. I just tell you a truth. You have to bend your own, why bother? Hey, you are less proud. It is not the time. When I go back, see how I can settle with you. Facing the mountains through arms, the proud wind master finally knows the weight and does not easily get angry. There is only one head in the iron palm, and she can also open it. If they are alarmed by the mountains, they will not even have the chance to escape. Haha, thank you very much for the big sister. Yi Yuan laughed. Less nonsense. Is there any way to get in? Say it quickly. The wind blew a stomach, not good air. Yi Yuan smiled and said, "How come in?" Of course, it is a big swing. Chapter 133 Knowledge is Power. Wave you into the big swing. Are you brains teasing? So many stone scorpions, how do you sway and walk in? The windy eyes looked at Yi Yuan, as if looking at a fool. Sister, please don't you want to be a good person? Just said, you have to use your brain before you do things. Yi Yuan was a sigh. You, the wind and the eyebrows are upside down, this guy actually satirizes himself. You are vicious, but don't you know that women are very vengeful? This time, let's take a note and wait for it to go back. The stone is very powerful, but they have a weakness, that is, there is almost no night vision. And we have the interest of Dan, they can't detect our breath. So when it's dark, let's go into it. Yi, explained Yi Yuan. Does this work? The wind was completely defeated by Yi Yuan. How did this guy know so much? There is no one to dare to come to Chifengling. Even the condensed crystal warriors are afraid to stay too much here, let alone understand the habits of the stone. Why not? Yi Yuan asked. But you are not saying, is it only useful for the monsters below the third order? What if we run into the king? Asked the wind. I have already asked. Within the range of 1,000 miles of forests, the highest is the third-order monster. Chifengling is still within 1,000 miles, one mountain cannot accommodate 2 tigers, so there is only one third-order king in this place. Such a large Chifengling, how lucky are we to be able to run into the king? Yi Yuan said this, the wind seems to be really not much risk. The seemingly extremely dangerous place is actually flat for Yi Yuan. Of course, only Yi Yuan can be as smooth as other people, they will not refine the collection of Dan, and only come to die. This guy is really enchanting, as if anything can't beat him. The wind is also the arrogant lord, and there is always some dissatisfaction in my heart. I don't know why, she has some faint expectations in her heart, and it will be good if she goes up the mountain. Let you be so embarrassed. The black wind was high. The breeze squeaked the leaves, and the 2 figures slowly went towards Chifengling. Although the beast is far better than human beings, it is not sleepless. At this time, most of the armed sarcophagi returned to the mountain to rest, and naturally it would not be as shadowing as the daytime. The human martial artist's night vision ability is quite strong. Although there is no such distance and clarity during the day, it is okay to see things in a small area. And with the improvement of the realm, Yuan Li will have a greater transformation of the body of the warrior, and the night vision ability of the human warrior will become stronger and stronger. The wind and the leaves went far and wide to the mountains, for fear of alarming the stone. Chifengling is so big, where can we go to find the red soul grass? The wind suddenly asked. The top. Yi Yuan only said 2 words. What? The top of the mountain. The king of the king is very likely to be on the top of the mountain. The wind screamed almost out. Can't you make a fuss? Why is it called Chifengling here? Why is the herb called the red soul grass? Please, do you want to move your brain? Yi Yuan did not have a good air. In addition to being fussed all day, this woman has no use at all. No culture, it's terrible. Seeing the wind as still a stunned look, Yi Yuan had to explain. This is called Chifengling because the soil on the top of the mountain is red. This kind of soil is called red soil, and it is one of the few soils that can breed red soul grass. However, the red soil of Chifengling is not a lot, only a small place on the top of the mountain. So we have to take the red soul grass, we must go to the top. I don't know what to say, this Yi Yuan is simply an encyclopedia, know everything. Only with such profound knowledge, can he dare to use this spiritual cultivation to smash this Chifengling. What if you want to meet the king at the top of the mountain? The wind that was convinced by Yi Yuan, the momentum suddenly weakened a lot. How do I know? If I really come across, I will run away. As far as I can run, I will see the tricks. Oh, this is my own business. There is no need to involve you, or you still don't go up. Yi Yuan said very irresponsibly. No, I promised my aunt to protect you, can't watch you take risks alone. The wind was very firm. Haha, thank you sister. If you really meet the king, you can have a beautiful girl and a beautiful woman to go to Wangquan together, it is also a beautiful thing. Yi Yuan laughed. There was a feeling of being fooled by the wind, but the words had already been exported, and she did not intend to take it back. She just glanced at Yi Yuandao. Less nonsense, go away. Because of the fear of disturbing the stone of the arm, the two walked very slowly, and it took more than 1 hour to get to the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain is quite empty, apparently opened up by the stone. When I came to the top of the mountain, the trajectory of the night patrol was noticeably increased. And from the breath they have come from, there are many second-order armed sarcophagi. It seems that the king of the king is definitely on the top of the mountain. What do you do with so many squats? The wind asked a little anxiously. Yi Yuan glanced at the open space and said, "Is there a hill in the distance?" "There is a cave on it. If I guess it is good, the king of the king should be in the cave." The whole hilltop. The most concentrated place in the red soil is on the hill, and the red soul grass should be there. Ah, it's not very dangerous. Now we are at the top of the mountain. Once they are discovered by the king, they don't even have the chance to escape. Oh, it's really dangerous, but I'm going to go dangerous again. Without the red soul grass, the green child will definitely not pass. Seeing Yi Yuan as a maid is so desperate, the wind is also very moving. Such a man of affection and righteousness, there are really not many in this world. Usually looking at Yi Yuan's hippie smile, it is really critical, but it is very reliable. What should we do? The wind smashed the color of tension and decided to cooperate with Yi Yuan to collect the red soul grass. Yi Yuan observed for a while, and said, "Have you found out that there is no trajectory around the hills? It's really a look at the wind hills. The hillside is behind the cliff. We walked over there and turned over from the cliff. As long as we don't alarm the king, we are still very likely to escape." Yi Yuan said, "Is it going? Going up from the bluff, but going through the cave? I can't take care of that much. Now, we have only had a chance to try. It will not be how long it will be bright, and we will have no chance when it is bright." Yi Yuan made up his mind. The wind screamed and said, "Good. After a while, you will find the red soul grass. I will help you look at the wind." Chapter 134 Goodbye, Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan and the wind smashed away from the trajectory of the night patrol, and returned to the cliff. This cliff is almost perpendicular to the ground, and the top of the cliff is 100 feet away from the place where they stand. "Yi Yuan, this cliff is so high, can you do it?" Feng Ruoking was somewhat worried, asked Yi Yuandao. "When you climb the high ground, you can use the body and martial arts to be completely different. When you ascend, you have to use the martial arts to get rid of the asterisk of the earth. After all, even if it is a condensed crystal warrior, you can't fly in the sky. It is almost impossible for the spirits to be able to climb the cliffs of Beizonggao. The Yuanli of the Yuanshou martial arts can't stand the consumption of Beizong distance, and the second to one-step martial arts is not enough to support the warriors to climb the high. Are you going? Remove the word, of course I am. Yi Yuanman does not care. But, the cliff top is 100 feet high from us. Isn't it 100 feet? You sister is the first step, I will come later. I have been here, I can't drag the sisters back. Yi Yuan laughed. Yi Yuan's words sounded like a swollen face and a fat man. If he climbed halfway, he wouldn't fall off, it's not fun. This cliff is 1,000 feet from the ground. If it fails, it will be dead. Really no problem. Of course no problem. When did I let my sister disappointed? Yi Yuan laughed. I think about it, it seems that Yi Yuan is really a freak. It seems that I have never done anything. Maybe it can be done or not. Okay. Then I will go one step ahead. The wind nodded, and the tip of the toes gently touched the cliff. The wind is as light as a swallow, and the seemingly unattainable cliffs are as flat as her. Her body martial arts is the second-order advanced martial arts, Linggan dance, which is known for its lightness and speed, and is suitable for climbing this cliff. I saw her or the toes, or the scabbard, from time to time on the cliffs. The whole person climbed up at a very fast speed, and the distance between the two was over 20 feet. However, as the wind climbs higher and higher, a heart is getting more and more heavy, because she does not feel the existence of Yi Yuan. The wind can't feel a little noise underneath. Yi Yuan is still not leaving, or is it falling? The wind is very keen to look down and see if Yi Yuan is absent, but she is not an easy task to climb the cliff. How can I head down to see Yi Yuan? If Yi Yuan is still not leaving, is he deliberately making himself fun? Impossible. Yi Yuan can't be bored to this extent. Did he really fall? But it always has a bit of noise when it falls. Isn't Yi Yuan not even sending out a voice in order not to affect himself? The more I think about it, the more anxious the wind is, and the movements of the body become a little messy. Laugh. Under the rush of anxious, even the foot slipped, did not borrow power. In the blink of an eye, the windy figure fell sharply. Sister, carefully. At this moment, the wind has received the sound of Yi Yuan. It turned out that Yi Yuan has been following her closely. However, at this time the wind has nowhere to borrow, unless she slashed into the cliff with a sword. But as a result, the collision between the sword and the cliff will inevitably produce a harsh sound, and the stone of the mountain will be alarmed. Even if they can climb the top of the cliff, they can't escape a dead word. So for a moment, the winds gave up self-help, letting them fall off the cliff. She decided to look at Yi Yuan before she died. After she died, no one should always squash with him. However, she could not see Yi Yuan, because she had just slipped a distance of about 2 feet, and felt that her feet were gently held by a palm. It is this support that makes her figure return to the right track again. Sister, you go up first, I will come later. Almost at the same time, Yi Yuan came over. The wind knows that this is Yi Yuan saved her, but, can such a shock, Yi Yuan still survive? She can even hear the sound of Yi Yuan falling sharply. I don't know why, there is an urge to cry now. However, she knew that she could not waste the opportunity that Yi Yuan had desperately exchanged her life. So, on the tiptoe, Lingdan dance, was launched and quickly climbed up to the top of the cliff. The wind rushed out all the thoughts in my mind, and climbed to the top of the cliff. For the wind that has abandoned the distracting thoughts, it is not difficult to climb this 100-feet-high cliff. After a while, the wind saw the cliff top. Her toes were finally on the cliff, and the whole person flew up the cliff like a swan. However, at this time, the wind did not have the slightest conquest of the cliff. She sat on the ground, and her heart was like a knife. The wind is all you are. You are killing Yi Yuan. Hee hee. The wind twitched gently, but did not dare to make a sound, and covered his mouth with his hands, so the whole person was shaking. Tears slammed down from her eyes and then fell off the cliff with the wind. The wind is damn, the ***** person is you. Why are you still alive now? Yi Yuan is dead. Wind, why don't you usually be better for Yi Yuan? It is obvious that he has helped you a lot, but you can't pull your face and say thank you. Yi Yuan, sorry. The wind lingered in her heart, but she knew that Yi Yuan could never hear. Although Yi Yuan just said that he came later, but the wind knows, it must be Yi Yuan to comfort her. Under the impact of her falling power, Yi Yuan simply could not have a chance to survive. Even with her 4-pronged strength, the second-order advanced body method can't survive in such a situation, let alone Yi Yuan as just a vitality. The wind knows that Yi Yuan's flash has been cultivated to a very advanced level. However, after all, it is a first-order body martial arts. How can it remove such a big impact? Yi Yuan, I am sorry. I will not die. I am going to complete your last wish. I am going to find the red soul grass and other herbs. I want to go back to Qin. Please Wu Daofeng adults to help the green children refining Yuanyang Dan. If Wu Daofeng's adults can't refine, I will go outside to find a more powerful refining pharmacist. Anyway, I must try my best to let the green children survive. The wind swears secretly. After that, the wind slammed the spirit and stood up, ready to find the red soul grass. The wind looked at the dark cliff, and the tears could not stop flowing again. Yi Yuan, goodbye. After that, the wind turned and prepared to leave. However, at this time, the wind suddenly heard the sound of hunting under the cliff. It seems that there is something moving. Chapter 135 was discovered. Impossible. How is this possible? Is it an illusion? The winds feel that the sounds that have just been heard can be illusions, because the possibility of Yi Yuansheng's return is really small. But if it is an illusion, why is the sound getting bigger and bigger? Is it? Just when the wind was lost, a figure came down from the black lacquered cliffs. Seeing this figure, the wind lingered there for a moment, tears burst out. Great, great, he's fine, he's really okay, the wind shouted in his heart. Sister, Yi Yuan's voice only said a few words, and found a group of pale blue figures rushing over to himself and hugged himself. The faint aroma came from the nose, and Yi Yuan couldn't help but feel the spirit. Yi Yuan, you are really good. It's really great, the wind whispered and silently shed tears. This feeling of warm jade is really what all men are craving. But now is not the time when the children are in love, you have to find the red soul grass. The wind was obviously aware of his own gaffe, and quickly released Yi Yuan, rubbing the tears of the corner of his eyes. You, don't misunderstand, I just thought you died to save me, we'll be like that. Yi Yuan stunned and immediately smiled. What happened just now? How can I remember nothing? Sister, I am so tired, first adjust the interest, let's go to the red soul grass. Okay, Yi Yuan's state at this time is not good, and Yuan Li is almost exhausted. If it weren't for his strength to be more powerful than the same level, I am afraid that he would have died long ago. The consumption of the two people is not small, they each took a remedy, and they recovered some strength after adjusting for a while. Sister, don't delay, let's go find the red soul grass. Well, let's go. After that, the two went down the mountain. The wind is quite silent along the way, and peace is very different. Yi Yuan, how did you come up? I don't mean that, It was the wind that first broke the silence, and she could not restrain her curiosity. It's just that her attitude of asking questions is different from peacetime, and it seems like a little wife. Yi Yuan knows that the wind is still awkward, and smiles faintly. I know that the sister is not that, but I have some accidents. How can the sister miss? The windy and pretty face is red, and suddenly said, actually, I thought you didn't keep up, so. Yi Yuan listened to the wind and said so, only suddenly realized that she actually made an oolong because she was worried about herself. He was also strange at first, and it is impossible to make such mistakes with the windy foundation. Yi Yuan's heart was moved for a while, and the former feelings of anger at the wind also dissipated almost at this time. Oh, the original sister thought that I fell, and my sister missed me too much. No, I didn't mean that, just. Well, my sister doesn't want to think about it. My master is so powerful. How can I not leave me some powerful body martial arts? When I played against Lin Tiancheng, I already felt that the flash was not enough. Then I broke through. 9. Yuan Li reluctantly can practice the second-order exercises. I naturally want to make this short board to make up. Yi Yuan explained. The wind suddenly realized. It turned out to be like this. I have never seen you use other body martial arts, so. Well, I understand, thank you sister. Thanks, Yi Yuan is sincere. Although the windy mistakes brought a lot of trouble, and even almost killed his life, but the cause is also because of worry about him. In fact, Yi Yuanxin's body martial arts is not a second-order martial art. Such a low-level martial art, Yi Yuan really does not. However, Yuan Li can barely reach the level of practicing second-order martial arts, and Yi Yuan naturally has to make up for the shortcomings that lack the body. The martial art of his cultivation is called Essence of the Spirit, and there is no specific order for this martial art, because it can always be cultivated to the future. Lingye can cultivate the first weight of Essence of Broken Sky. Yi Yuan's Yuan Li's strength is no less than half-step spirit, and he is barely strong enough to reach this threshold. Yi Yuanxin's selection of the merits, although only the first, the power is extremely powerful. Although it is just getting started, it is not a problem for Yi Yuan to follow the trend. In fact, Yi Yuan has been keeping the same pace with the wind, and it is neither fast nor slow, so the wind is not aware of his existence. It's just that Yi Yuan didn't think that the wind was so misunderstood that he almost lost his hand and fell off the cliff. The two avoided the cave far away and searched the shadow of the blue soul grass from top to bottom. Because the range that can be seen at night is very limited, the two looked very carefully, but after looking for a long time, still did not find the shadow of the red soul grass. The two spent nearly 1 hour of time, almost searched the entire hills, and did not find the red soul grass. Yi Yuan, you said that the red soul grass will not be, the wind screamed and listened to the cave. Now only the cave has not been searched. If there is a red soul grass on the top of the mountain, it can only be there. At this time, the sky is already bright, and if you don't find the red soul grass, the two are in danger. Yi Yuan sighed and said, 80% is in the area. It seems that I still have to go there. You are waiting for me here, I will go back. Where is the wind? I am willing to rely on it, I can't. Going to go together. I promised my aunt to protect you, how can I let you take risks alone? Yi Yuanwei did not know her, but she said, okay, but if there is any situation, run away immediately. Windy nodded, and Yi Yuan slowly searched the path near the cave. As the two were getting closer and closer to the cave, they felt a strong breath coming from the cave. Look, Yi Yuan, is that the red soul grass? The wind suddenly found something, and quickly pulled Yi Yuan's voice. Yi Yuan looked at the direction of the wind and pointed, and saw a few red jagged grasses, not what is the red soul grass. After many hardships to find the red soul grass, even if Yi Yuanxin is like water, this is a little excited. Even if he carefully prepared so many things for Chifengling, he took great risks. Yi Yuan is even more powerful, and it is only a martial art warrior. In the face of a pair of second-order monsters and even third-order monsters, the risks he faces need not be said. Yi Yuan took a deep breath and shouted at the wind, I went to collect the few red soul grasses. After we finished, we left here at the fastest speed. After that, Yi Yuan's first method of faithfulness and emptiness was fully opened, turning into a residual image and plundering the red soul grass. Hey, just then, a few buzzing sounds, Yi Yuan and the wind smashed at the same time. Chapter 136 Mysterious Man. With a few buzzing sounds, an extremely dangerous feeling flooded the heart of Yi Yuan. This dangerous feeling makes the scalp of the leaves far numb. He knows that if he goes one step further, he will definitely be devastated. The next moment, Yi Yuan retired at a faster rate than when he came. Sister, go. Yi Yuan did not hesitate to choose to retreat, but that is the third-order monster, one hand can destroy them. Apparently, the wind was also aware that something was wrong. Instead of waiting for Yi Yuan to remind him, Lingdan Dance was launched and swept away at the mountain at an extremely fast speed. The wind and Yi Yuan rushed to the bottom of the mountain one after the other, but this process only lasted for a few moments, and the figure of the two men came to an abrupt end. Sister, be careful, Yi Yuan yelled. Almost the moment when Yi Yuan shouted, the white shadow of one person was smashed out from the oblique thorn. It was actually a first-come first-served, and immediately caught up with the wind. In the face of this strong breath, the wind was so horrified, wherever you can resist, and instantly retreat. However, compared with the white shadow, the speed of the wind is too slow. In the blur, the wind saw a huge claw to shoot himself. What? In the panic, the wind raised his hand and made a sword, then closed his eyes in fear. This third-order arm is too strong, and she is not resistant at all. It's over. This is the last thought of the wind. Laugh. Zhu Dao Jian Meng crossed the front of the wind, and also smashed out from the oblique thorns, gathered from different directions to a point, hit the lower abdomen of the stone armpit. Yi Yuan launched the nine-sword style in the first time. Unlike the last messy attack, this time the nine swordsmanship finally gathered in one place, and Yi Yuan's control over Zhanmeng once again reached a step. This is also the extraordinary play of Yi Yuan's eagerness. If he really wants another sword, he may not be able to do it. 9 swords of the 9 swords are not ghosts but entities. The first style of this, Qingsong Zero's sword, is that Yi Yuan has gathered the strengths of the 2 swords, and evolved from the extremely fast body of Falling Flowers and Zero's swords. Every attack is made by him personally. It was just that moment that was too fast, so it looked like it was coming out of 9 different directions. The combination of the 9 swords, the attack power is naturally strong and unmatched, but this is not enough to hurt the third-order king. However, the king of the scorpion actually chose to avoid its edge. Once the 9 swordsmanship merged, they flew out along their original orbits and disappeared into the heavens and the earth. It's slow to say, but it's just a matter of what happened in the flashlight. From Yi Yuan's retreat, to the two rushing, and then to the smashing of the king, and then to Yi Yuanwei, Wei Zhao, for the wind, but also for a short period of time. At this time, the king of the king stood in a place outside the wind, and Yi Yuan also stood outside the wind and a few feet away, while the wind was closed with his eyes waiting for the palm of the king. Two people and one beast actually fell into a confrontational state. Fa. What happened? Yi Yuan, did you save me? The wind smashed back to the gods, and Ziwu looked at Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan ignored her and kept staring at the remote king. The third order king is so terrible that they can kill both of them. Just now Yi Yuan was able to save the wind, and it was only an impossible task to be completed under certain conditions. Yu Wang believed that the strength of the wind was strong and threatened, so she chose to attack her in the first time. Yi Yuan is just a long way from the wind, and it is impossible for the king to attack both of them at the same time, only to give Yi Yuan a chance to attack. The reason why the king chose to shun the house is because the place where Yi Yuan attacked is the weakness of the stone armor. Yi Yuan's attack is accurate to the extreme. If the king is hard to pick up this style, then I am afraid that it has been seriously injured. Otherwise, with the cultivation of Yi Yuan's atmosphere, even if the attack power is strong, it is impossible to cause much damage to the king. In fact, if Yu Wang is trying to get a shot, the wind is now a cold body. The reason why the attack was successfully attacked by Yi Yuan was because the king of the kings was too contemptuous for them to reveal their flaws. If Yu Wang has another attack, Yi Yuan will die. Therefore, Yi Yuan has never dared to relax his vigilance and firmly locked the king. The king of the emperor apparently did not expect that a small martial warrior would be even more threatened than the woman with the four spirits. After a blow, Yu Wang could not help but look at Yi Yuan. A sly face stared at Yi Yuan, and I couldn't see the joys and sorrows. When she saw the wind, she ignored her and she did not dare to act rashly. She was sandwiched between the two and she was not strong. But she is stupid to know that she just came back with a life. She couldn't think of it. Yi Yuan's one-powered warrior could threaten the king of condensed crystals. This is incredible. Just now she was a little confused, did not organize an effective attack, but even if she did her best, she was killed by the slap of the king. She is too clear about this. At that moment, the power of the king made her feel suffocated. But Yi Yuan, actually able to save her under the hands of the king. It's just a matter of time, but the wind is as long as a few years. She permeated the fine sweat on her forehead, and every breath of the king made her deeply uneasy. The wind saw the appearance of Yi Yuanru as an enemy, and I realized that it was difficult to repeat it. But what should she do? When the wind was cranky, the king moved again. Yi Yuan did not move. The king of the king just had some action, and Yi Yuan's mouth made a series of sounds of Ji Li Gu Lu, and the wind couldn't understand what he was talking about. Yi Yuan, what is this doing? Is he going to communicate with the king? But how can the king understand the words of Yi Yuan? As a princess of the Qin kingdom, the popular style is also widely known, but she has never heard of human beings and the beasts. There are too many kinds of monsters, and it is impossible to count them at all. The language used by each monster is not the same. How can humans master it? However, when this life and death, Yi Yuan will do this kind of futile work. The gloomy eyes couldn't help but look at the king, and they couldn't help but widen their eyes. The king, who was already ready to launch an attack, really stopped the action. It's amazing. A human being can communicate with the monster. The wind has found that the more she and Yi Yuan are in contact, the more I feel that Yi Yuan has more and more mysteries. Yi Yuan, who is only 15 years old, is it really taught by his so-called master? It's a mysterious man. Chapter 137 Demon Crystal Dan. Seeing that the king stopped the action, Yi Yuan was also a big sigh of relief, and the whole person had a feeling of collapse. Although he has been forced to calm down, but the momentum of the third-order monsters is oppressive, it is not a joke. This Yuan Wang is not a half-step condensate of Su Yubai's half-hanger, but a genuine third-order monster, which is equivalent to the existence of human condensate. Yi Yuan is enchanting again, and it is impossible to defeat opponents across two big realms. The attack of a mighty warrior can threaten the third-order monster, which is already very bad. Just now, Ji Li Gu Lu said a pass, it is already the last card of Yi Yuan. If this card can't work, he really wants to plant it here today. Fortunately, Yi Yuan's words were not playing the piano, and this king really understood it. Yi Yuan said that the universal animal language is the common language of the demon family that was set up by the demon geniuses of the gods many years ago. The purpose is to enable the demon people to communicate with each other. There are countless races in the Yaozu, and no single family can match the Terran. In order to let the Yaozu unite to fight against the Terran, the ancient Yaozu people have jointly set a series of measures, and this universal animal language is one of them. After countless generations of reproduction, the universal animal language has become a heritage of all races, passed down from generation to generation. If this king does not wake up to inherit the memory, Yi Yuan is really playing the piano. The Xian family once gave birth to a very anti-Japanese existence, Qi Tiansheng, which is a strong god. Although it has been passed down from generation to generation, the blood of the borderless stone is very thin, but the awakening part of the memory can still be done. Ordinary squadrons and scorpions will have a hard time awakening to pass on memories, but there is still a possibility that this scorpion king will awaken. What Yi Yuan just said is, Yu Wang predecessors and slow hands. The king of the king is obviously very surprised. A human being knows the universal animal language. Yu Wang discovered that this human juvenile seems to be different. Not only is it very strong, but it is connected with the language of the beast. Even himself, after awakening the memory of inheritance, learned the universal animal language. Yu Wang also used the universal animal language in Yi Yuan to communicate. Boy, you wait for you to break into my territory and steal the red soul grass, what should be sin? Since this king is willing to communicate, Yi Yuan is not so worried. He yelled at the king of the dynasty. The king of the king, please forgive me, the younger generation is looking for the red soul grass, it is out of help. The younger generation has a friend who is a yin-yin, now it seems that cold poison is about to erupt, urgently needed red soul grass to save lives, but also hope that the king's predecessors generously donated. What is your friend's business, what is it about me? This red soul grass I have a big use, can you give it to you easily? This is not to say, only you broke into my territory, and today I want to leave. The king is not a living bodhisattva, obviously he is too lazy to manage the life and death of a stranger. If you don't think Yi Yuan has some meaning, he will kill him as soon as he slaps, and where will he talk to him so much nonsense? When the king finished, "Ow ow," called a few times, and suddenly a group of arms squatted up, even all of them were second-order senior monsters. The wind was so shocked that I quickly came over to Yi Yuan. A king is enough to kill, so a bunch of second-order senior monsters come up, that's got it. Yi Yuan, can you really talk to the king? Yi Far nodded. Fortunately, Wang Wang awakened the memory and learned the universal animal language, otherwise we are dead. The master taught me the general animal language. I didn't think it was right. I didn't expect it to come in handy. Yi Yuan also knew that the exchange with the beast was a bit shocking, and he had to push this responsibility to the master. The wind looked at the open-handed stone scorpion, and smiled bitterly. In this case, we are still dead. Yi Yuan smiled and said, that is not necessarily. If the king does not wake up to pass on the memory, then all the rest. But since he is awakened, we not only do not have to die, maybe we can leave with the blue soul grass. Don't be kidding. You just said a big pass with it. Not only did it not get better, but it summoned such a large group of second-order senior monsters. Will it let us live and leave? Indeed, surrounded by a large group of second-order high-end stone armpits, the pressure is not much smaller than facing the king. Fortunately, these second-order armed sarcophagus did not get the command of attack, otherwise Yi Yuan two people are now afraid that it has become a meat sauce. Hey, look at me. Yi Yuan laughed. You two are talking about it, are you ready to die? You guys are hunting our demon every day, and now let you taste the taste of being hunted. However, although he was very fierce, he did not order that those crickets would come up. Yi Yuan went up 2 steps and smiled at the king. The king of the king will not kill me. Jokes. Why don't I kill you? Just because you will be a universal beast. Kid, are you too high to look at yourself? Oh, the king of the king said wrong, not that I looked at myself, but you looked down on me. At this point, Yi Yuan was too lazy to pretend, and simply took out a look that was not afraid of fear. He is a Tang dynasty emperor, is it even a third-order monster? When the king listened to Yi Yuan's words, he could not help but laugh. Just a sarcophagus so laughed, cannot help but make people feel a creepy feeling. Kid, you are really a newborn calf, not afraid of tigers. I see your bone age, up to 15 or 6 years old. At such a young age, how do you let me see you? Yi Yuan just smiled and didn't mean to refute it. He just spit out 3 words from his mouth. Demon, crystal, Dan. The old king, who was still laughing, heard these 3 words, and suddenly his face changed greatly. A pair of huge eyes blinked at Yi Yuan. That looks like it's going to eat Yi Yuan. Kid, your family will refine the demon crystal Dan? Asked the king. From its attitude, it can be seen how much this demon crystal has its meaning. Although the winds did not know what they were talking about, but from the state of the king, she also saw that Yi Yuan successfully suffocated the appetite of the king, and could not help but produce some expectations. Wang Wangman thought that Yi Yuan would nod and admit, who knows that Yi Yuan shook his head and said, no. When Wang heard a big anger, boy, do you dare to take the king to open up? Believe it or not, this king swallowed you. Yi Yuan haha smiled and said, I swallowed me, I am afraid that you will stay in the early 3rd stage in your life, even if you eat more red soul grass is useless. Yi Yuan stood shoulder to hand, standing in front of the king without any slight fear. Chapter 138 Ignorance Apes. Oh, a big tone. You are a child of the temperament, actually dare to talk about the limit of the king. Wang sneered. Regarding the attitude of Yu Wang, Yi Yuan did not care. He knew that Yu Wang had been tempted. Otherwise, he was so arrogant in front of the king, and the king had already slapped him to death. Yi Yuan just smiled and said, where is the limit of the predecessors of the king? I am afraid that you are much clearer than me. I am right, I know what the predecessors of the king have. If you think that I am blowing the atmosphere, I killed it, but for you, it's just a little effort. Yi Yuan said this, the king of the king is silent. As Yi Yuan said, the limit of the king is where it is the clearest. If there is no chance, it will be difficult to break through to the 3rd order midterm. The monsters are stronger than the humans of the same order, and they have a longer life than humans. This is their advantage. However, compared with human beings, the limitations of monsters are very large. Their intellect is very low, and cultivation mostly relies on instinct, so the entry is slow. And the difficulty of breaking through the realm is also much more difficult than humans. For the human condensate warrior, it is extremely difficult to break through a small realm. For the monster, it is more difficult to break through a stage. The strength of the king is almost equal to the triple crystal of human beings. The human warrior wants to cross this small step, and the difficulty is already very big. For Yu Wang, nature is hard to add. Therefore, Yi Yuan's words sounded arrogant, but there was no alarmist. This point, Yu Wang naturally knows. And the demon crystal Dan is the remedy that can help the 3rd order monsters break through the small realm. The king awakened some of the inheritance memories, and this part of the memory, there is a description of the demon crystal. However, even if the king knows the demon crystal, it is impossible to refine it. Although refining drugs are not human patents, the human race pharmacists are much more powerful than the demon people. Moreover, the low-order monsters of the king, it is impossible to refine the immortality. All they can do is ask the human pharmacists to help them refine. And the great master of humanity, how many will refine the demon crystal Dan? Even if they will refine the demon crystal, how many of them can communicate with the king? The 2 sides come together, it's not bad to kill you. You must know that the inner king of the king is also a good refining material. Kid, your family will not refine, but you are telling the king to demon crystal, isn't it a play for me? If you don't give me a reasonable explanation, you can't leave alive. Although the words of the king are embarrassing, there is still a glimmer of expectation, otherwise where will he talk to Yi Yuan here? Yi Yuan smiled and said, I just said that the seniors of the king looked down on me. I just said that my family would not refine, but I did not say that I would not refine. Some of the kings suspected that they had misunderstood. You are a boy of the temperament, refining the third-order medicinal herbs. Although the king does not understand the refining techniques, he will not commit such naive mistakes. This kind of thing. You have been around for a long time, I don't want to let you both of you. But since you have the courage to play the king, you don't have to leave. The patience of the king has obviously reached the limit, and he has waved his paws, ready to let those second-order armed squats besieged. The wind was so shocked that I knew that Yi Yuan and Yu Wang had collapsed, and immediately raised the sword to meet the enemy. Yi Yuan, while holding her sword, looked at the king without hesitation. The predecessors of the king do not understand the medicine. Can you know the classification of human refining pharmacists? This naturally knows. But don't tell me that you are a great warrior and a great Dan. Yi Yuan took the chest of the refining pharmacist on the chest and threw it to the king. He said, "This badge is issued by the Association of Refining Pharmacists to the refining pharmacists. There is my personal information. The predecessors of the kings only need to infuse the badge." Naturally known. Although Yan Wang did not think that Yi Yuan had the strength to refine the demon crystal Dan, but he did not want to play any tricks, so he poured a hint of strength into the badge, and Yi Yuan's information immediately appeared in his mind. Basic Dan Shi, Elementary Dan Shi. Wang looked quite a bit strangely to Yi Yuan. Yu Wang is also an old fairy who has lived for hundreds of years. He still knows some about the classification of human refining pharmacists. Under normal circumstances, the level of the refining pharmacist and the strength of the warrior are corresponding, and there is very little Da Shi or the Da Dan division of the spirit environment. It can be seen that the level of alchemy in this boy is quite high, no wonder he dares to be so arrogant. But, what about it? You are just a Dan teacher, and you are still a junior teacher. You have just passed the examination of the Association of Refining Pharmacists. You should not tell me that you can refine the demon crystal Dan. The king threw the badge back to Yi Yuan and said. Yi Yuan took the badge and put it on. He looked at the king and extended a finger. He said, 1 year. Within 1 year, I will definitely send a predecessor, a demon crystal Dan. 1 year. How is it possible? Kid, don't be fooled by this king. Let your tongue be like a spring, and today I still want to leave alive. Wang disdain. A junior Dan teacher refines the third-order remedy within 1 year. The king reads less. You don't want to lie to the king. Yi Yuan is sneer. When you wake up to inherit the memory, you are still just an ignorant ape. What do you say? Believe it or not, the king immediately killed you. When Wang listened to Yi Yuan, he could not help but be furious. Isn't it? What you can't do doesn't mean that others can't do it. What you can't understand doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I thought it would take only 2 years for the predecessors of Qishansheng to go from first to third. How do you know that I can't refine the third-order medicinal herbs within a year? I can't think of the ancestors of Qi Tiansheng's predecessors, and his descendants are so ignorant to this point. Sad and sad. Yi Yuan shook his head and sighed. Boy, you actually compare yourself to Qishan's ancestors. I really don't know how high the heavens are. The ancestors of Qishan are the strong gods. How can you compare these ants? Yi Yuan sneered and laughed. Wang Hu will have a kind of relationship with Shang Ning. The predecessors of Qi Tiansheng are not growing in the gods, but also in the lower bound. At the beginning, did some people say that he does not know the height of the earth? Tell you the truth, refining the demon crystal for me, it's just a little effort, but I can't refine it when I'm not in the realm. It's easy for me to break through to Jingjing in 1 year. The words have been so far, and I'm not helpful. If the seniors don't believe my words, let's take it now. After that, Yi Yuan turned and went, really did not pay attention to the king. Yu Wang looked at Yi Yuan and didn't know what to do. Chapter 139. The situation is reversed. To tell the truth, Yi Yuan's words are really mad, and it sounds like they are talking big. What is the existence of Qi Tiansheng? That is the existence of the gods. In today's lost era, the aura of those who are strong in the gods is even more dazzling and legendary. A borderless indigenous boy, even with his own and Qishan ancestors, this has to be fearless courage. For the Shiji family, Qixin's ancestors are the existence of totems, and they are not allowed to exist. Yi Yuan's comparison this time is really making the king fire. However, what surprised the king is that this borderless indigenous boy knows the ancestors of Qixin. If it is not awakening the memory of inheritance, even he himself does not know the existence of Qixin ancestors, how does this kid know? Not only that, but he is even more aware of the growing experience of his ancestors. Although the strength of this kid is weak, but the body is full of surprises. It is clear that only the cultivation of the temperament can make a powerful attack that threatens the spiritual environment. It is clear that only the cultivation of the temperament can be a junior Dan. And according to the information on the badge, Yi Yuan passed the assessment only to be full of vitality, which is too subversive. Yu Wang also knows that human pharmacists rarely know the existence of demon crystal Dan, but this teenage boy actually knows. Everything is so unusual. If you combine these things, maybe, can this kid really refine the demon crystal? Then again, it's only a year's time. If Yi Yuan's refining system can't be made, he can't lose anything. When he's too big, he's going to make a fuss and kill Yi Yuan. But if Yi Yuan can really refine the demon crystal Dan, if so, can Yi Yuan help him advance to the third order advanced? Can it be said that he may break through to the fourth order in his life? Thinking of this, the king's mood is no longer calm. The fourth order temptation, it is impossible to resist. What is the fourth order? In this infinite forest of high-order monsters like clouds, the fourth-order monsters can be regarded as a hegemon. Now the king of the king, at best, is the king of the mountain. In the scope of 1,000 miles, the third-order monster like him does not know how much, he is only one of them. This is a gamble that makes a steady profit. Even if the king lost, he lost only a year's time, but if he wins, he will have a broader future. In 1 year, it was irrelevant for Yu Wang, and he could not even improve his strength. Can you really refine the demon crystal Dan? Asked the king with some lack of confidence. Yi Yuan did not look over his face, and he ignored the king. He knows that his words have worked. As long as he realizes his mystery, he will definitely not start with himself. It's only a year's time, it's irrelevant to the king. Yi Yuan can naturally think of things that King Wang can think of. Therefore, it is now that the king has come to him, not to seek the king. Compared with the fourth order, what is the red soul grass? When Wang saw Yi Yuan, he did not take care of him. However, thinking of the attitude towards others, Yu Wang feels that there is nothing wrong with this attitude. On the contrary, the farther Yi Yuan is, the more he thinks he is unpredictable. Those who have the ability will be so forced. Looking at this scene, I couldn't help but widen my eyes. This story is reversed too fast. Just now, the king of the king was still angry, and he would slap the dead. How do you say a few words? The attitude has come a big turn of 180 degrees. The wind can't help but curiously look at Yi Yuan, and I want to know what Yi Yuan and Yu Wang have said. However, she also knew that now is not the time to fight, but had to suppress curiosity in her heart. The wind knows that she and Yi Yuan are safe now, which is enough. Small, juvenile, if you can really refine the demon crystal Dan, how much is the red soul grass? The king changed his name temporarily and turned the boy into a juvenile. Now the only chip in the hands of the king is the red soul grass. Yi Yuan ignored him, he had to take this out. Yi Yuanji and Yu Wang said the topic. He slowly turned his head, and said that he lacked interest. The predecessor of the king used the red soul grass to change the demon crystal Dan, but it is too bully. Red soul grass is only a second-order herb, rare is rare, but compared with the third-order medicinal herbs, it is rubbish. Moreover, the medicinal herbs used by the monsters of the demon crystal are basically invisible in the human domain. There are only a handful of refining pharmacists who can refine the demon medicinal herbs without borders. This shows the preciousness of the demon crystal Dan. Yan Wang Wen Yan is also slightly embarrassed, said, "Youth, as long as you can really refine the demon crystal Dan, the conditions are not mentioned. As long as I can do it, never say 2 words." Yi Yuan looked at the king, and suddenly smiled and smiled. Yi Yuan did not mention the conditions, but smiled and asked, "Wang predecessors, do not know if you have any interest in the demon house Dan." When the king heard the words, Shufu Dan, he couldn't help but take a sigh of relief. The whole person has become lost and lost. Where is the demeanor of the peers? A sly face can have such a wonderful expression, and it is hard to be a king. At this time, the whole king is shaking, obviously it is excited to the extreme. Demon, 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 you can even refine it. Demon, for a long time, the king did not say, the demon house Dan, these 3 words, has been excited to stutter. Demon house Dan, is to help the beast to break through the 4th order remedy. 4th order. Before today, he never expected to break through the 4th order. However, now, Yi Yuan has ridden his appetite, and even the demon house Dan has moved out. Is this not a human life? No, it should be a commandment. Regardless of human warriors or monsters, who can resist the temptation to break through a big realm? Nobody. Every big world, that is a heaven. Those geniuses can marry a Scorpio, but they may not be able to survive the next Scorpio. After the next day, you may not be able to pass the next day. Every big realm, like a sieve of sand, has eliminated countless geniuses over and over again. Every Scorpio has made countless geniuses smash the sand. The king can awaken the memory of the inheritance, indicating that he is already a great genius in the stone. But the 4th order Scorpio, but reluctantly shut him out. Now, does he really have a chance to cross this Scorpio? Yi Yuan was very satisfied with the reaction of Wang Wang. He smiled and said, I didn't say it right now. Alchemy is just a routine for me. What I lack now is just the realm. Chapter 140 Opportunity, only this time. The attitude of Yi Yuan's speech is obviously like bragging. But the king does not know why, just think that Yi Yuan is true. Perhaps, this feeling comes from the strong self-confidence revealed by Yi Yuan. This feeling is very contradictory, but it is so convincing. In the end, the 4th order temptation defeated everything. Youth, put forward your conditions. I have accepted my life, said Wang Wang helplessly. Awakening the memory of the inheritance, the spirit of the king is not worse than the normal human. He knows that Yi Yuan has hanged his appetite, and certainly not as simple as the red soul. Looking at the oyster king of the eggplant that is like a frost, Yi Yuan said faintly, for 10 years, recognize me as the main. What? You have a small temperament, I want you to recognize you as the Lord. In Chifengling, the king is the supreme being. Regardless of strength or age, and Yi Yuan is not a grade at all. Let him recognize a teenager as a master, it is more uncomfortable than killing him. Yi Yuan is a face that doesn't matter. He said, after 10 years, you just want to recognize me as a master. I am afraid I can't rank too much. If you don't want to, I don't care. I will eat a little, use the demon. Jing Dan has changed your red soul grass with you. Anyway, refining the demon crystal Dan is just a little effort for me. 1 year later, I will give you the demon crystal Dan, we don't owe each other. But by that time, you don't want to I want to be my servant in exchange for the demon. Yi Yuan paused and put away a smile on his face. He solemnly said, opportunity, only this time. Yi Yuan's receipt, the momentum of a superior person naturally emerged, as if he was the king of the world. The wind has never seen Yi Yuan so proud of the world, the temperament and momentum, even if the father is here, afraid that it is a blessing. Yi Yuanban is the lord of the king of medicine Wang Dian, who is the ***** of the gods with a very high status. Compared with the refining pharmacists, association, it is not too much to die. Although I have changed my body now, the temperament of the superior is from the depths of the soul, and there is no need for him to make it. When Wang Wang saw Yi Yuan, he was so extraordinary, and he was shocked. The king who is the upper-level person understands that this kind of gesture is definitely not a disguised teenager can pretend. This teenager must have many secrets that are unknown. Yu Wang couldn't help but start to re-examine the words of Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan's meaning is very clear. If he chooses to exchange with the red soul grass, he will lose the opportunity of the advanced 4th order monster. So the question now is, can Yi Yuan really refine the demon house Dan? This is also a gamble. Yi Yuan has increased the original chip several times. Yi Yuan said that he recognized him as the main, naturally not verbally, but to establish a soul contract. After the conclusion of the soul contract, all actions of the king must be directed by Yi Yuan's command and must not resist. Otherwise, Yi Yuan's thoughts will make the king's soul fly away. In other words, he will lose 10 years of freedom. If Yu Wang chooses to exchange with the red soul grass, he will not lose money. With the demon crystal Dan, he broke into the third order midterm is not a problem. But in that case, he also lost the opportunity to break through the fourth order. Perhaps this is his only chance to become a fourth order monster. If you choose the latter, his risk is much greater. If Yi Yuan refining does not produce the demon, he will lose 10 years of freedom. This is something that King Wang can't accept. However, if you choose the latter, he will get a chance to break through the fourth order. This opportunity is too rare. The temptation of the fourth order is too big. A sly face of Yu Wang kept licking his teeth and his heart was obviously very tangled. Seeing the wonderful expression of Yu Wang, the wind almost laughed, but her heart was also very strange. What did you say to him? How is his expression? I couldn't stop curiosity, and asked the voice. Yi Yuan did not hide it, and told her about the intention to accept the king as a servant. The wind heard the sound of Yi Yuan, and the expression on his face suddenly became very exciting. That is the third order king. The dean is not necessarily his opponent. You have to accept him as a servant. The wind almost screamed. A third order stone sarcophagus, barely enough to be my servant. It is also my strength is too bad, or else I am too lazy to accept him. You also know that my master is very strong, the servant is too bad, the old man's face is also dull. Yi Yuan said helplessly. The wind looked at Yi Yuan, and it was completely speechless. The two of them died in Chifengling for the rest of their lives. How can they not think that the situation has changed so quickly? At the last moment, they were almost killed by this Scorpion King. The next moment Yi Yuan had to accept this prince as a servant. Not that I don't understand, the world is changing fast. What kind of existence is Yi Yuan's master? The entanglement of the king has continued for several decades, and Yi Yuan did not urge him. Yi Yuan also knows that this incident is also a very painful choice for Yu Wang. The king of the king is in Chifengling, just like the emperor of the mortal kingdom. It is obviously very difficult to let an emperor go to be a servant of others. Gradually, the expression on the face of Yan Wang was calm, and Yi Yuan knew that he had made a choice. How, have you considered it? Yi Yuan said lightly. Let me be your servant, but you must make a vow of heaven. You must refine the demon house for me within 10 years. Yi Yuan listened and laughed. You don't make a mistake. Now I am not asking you to be my servant, but I will give you a chance. You only have to choose to believe me, or don't believe me, there is no third way. Go. Seeing Wang's face became bad, Yi Yuan added, you don't want to trap me here to make alchemy for you. Once I have the strength to refine the demon, I have 1,000 ways to make you die unconsciously. If you don't believe, you can give it a try. Yu Wang did not expect him to think about it, Yi Yuan guessed it. He did just want to leave Yi Yuan here to give him alchemy, but he did not expect to be threatened by Yi Yuan. As Yi Yuan said, if his Dan Dao is really so high, he does have this ability. Another long silence, the king suddenly sighed and said to Yi Yuan, good. For this breakthrough of the fourth order opportunity, I am willing to recognize you for the main 10 years. Yi Yuan's face did not show an unexpected expression. He laughed and said, you can rest assured, follow me Yi Yuan, not to mention the fourth order, that is, the fifth order demon, the sixth order demon is not in the words. Can't use it. 10 years, I just chased you away, I am afraid you are not willing to leave me. This sounds so arrogant and unreliable. In fact, Yi Yuan is afraid that he will still have reservations. For Yi Yuan, let alone the demon sect, that is the ninth order demon emperor, what is the difficulty?